Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's the final days of our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Everyone wants to be stronger, not just physically, but in every part of life. But between confusing workout advice, complicated equipment, and trying to figure out nutrition, where does anyone even start? Well, to get stronger mentally and physically, go to Anytime Fitness. You'll get a personalized training, nutrition, and recovery plan, all customized to your body, your strength level, and your goals. You'll get expert coaching to optimize your results, anytime, anywhere, in the gym, and on the Anytime Fitness app. And you'll get anytime access to 5,500 gyms worldwide, all with the right equipment to level up your strength gains and your life. So get started at AnytimeFitness.com. That's AnytimeFitness.com.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Handegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Rufino's on Highland Road, Walking Awake Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments. Hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. I'm Charles Handegriff, Richard Dixon, Max Gotro, Jimmy Ott will be with us in hour number 2. Jordan Kitchen's back in the studio. And Black Friday football kicking off here in about an hour. And a lot of news circulating right now. Rich, good morning. Happy Thanksgiving.
Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving.
How's your holiday? You guys do okay?
I'm really full. I've had a couple of Thanksgivings so far. Went to Mississippi for Wednesday. We did it with my family. And by the way, the speckled trout are biting. My brother destroyed them.
Okay.
And then we got up yesterday morning, drove to Prairieville, had it with my wife's family. And I'm hurting.
Can I get you a turkey sandwich?
No, I'm good right now.
Okay.
I just need something to drink.
Yeah. All right. Well,
liquid diet for the next day.
There's plenty of that. Too. We are in the final hours of Lane Kiffin Watch. 0 hour approaches. About 60 minutes from now, the Egg Bowl will kick off in Starkville. We've already got.
He made it. Nobody thought he was going to make it.
On Monday, especially last Sunday, I would say I had my doubts if he was going to make it here. The shenanigans have already started. Max, we got this story that somebody broke into Ole Miss's whatever last night, their locker room.
Just some good old Mississippi State fans and trashed that place.
Stole Trinidad Chambliss's jersey.
Good for him.
Okay. Do you guys move into the visiting locker room the night before?
I've never been on. That doesn't make.
That was the first thing I thought of is, wait a minute, you're in the visiting locker room.
I have broken into Tiger Stadium before. So,
careful, the statute of limitations might not be up.
This was 21, 22. But you could sneak into Tiger Stadium. We go mess around. And you used to bring some people out there with you back in your younger days.
I don't want to know what you were doing in Tiger Stadium in the middle of the night.
But, so I know people can get into it. Now, I'm a little bit more shocked that everything was set up last night. Usually they put the jerseys out the morning of the game.
You've been in the visitors' locker room at Mississippi State.
I
never. It's right. It's a closet. I mean, they give you barely enough room.
They changed it for us. They used to put you on top. If you ever look at the end zone, the locker rooms were on the same side. You'd go down underneath for Mississippi State for the home.
Yeah.
And they used to make us go up the stairs to get into ours.
Right.
So it was always you bitch and complain about. It was raining when I played there, so everybody's nervous coming down the steps.
You don't want to fall,
don't fall. But it's nothing special. It's like a big square room with benches.
That's the first thing I thought of is typically the visiting teams don't move into the locker room the night before, do they?
No. I mean, maybe equipment staff might go set up some things before, but the team doesn't go in there.
Right. Okay. So
I heard a rumor that LSU's visiting locker room used to be painted pink.
That was at Iowa. Hayden,
okay.
I don't know if LSU ever did it or not. I mean, the visiting locker room
We
at
used to
Tiger
hear all
Stadium.
those stories about.
The visiting locker room at Tiger Stadium is awful, but on purpose.
Yeah. It is.
Did you ever go to a nice one?
No, in
Okay.
Florida. So and there's versions of nice versus compared to what you normally get.
Yeah.
And you have to think about it. On a road game, you got 60. I think you travel, I don't know, whatever it is, 50, 60
It
players.
used to be 65.
60.
It's 70.
And then you got the staff, and then you're in this locker room for 4 hours before the game, and they would always, for some reason, there'd be just toilets. No stalls, no walls.
Right.
They would just give you 7 toilets next to each other and said, "Here's y'all's accommodations."
like the Marine Corps,
Yeah,
right?
like,
Okay.
there was no privacy in a visiting locker room.
When it's hot outside, it's hotter in the visiting locker room. When it's cold outside, it is colder. They are not trying to make you
Not trying to make you comfortable and ready to
at
feel
all.
good.
You really want to hear some stuff about locker rooms. Go research the old Celtics Lakers when they were playing in the Forum in the old Boston Garden. They were not nice to each other at all. No, the pink locker rooms, and I don't know if LSU ever did that. Maybe they
That
did.
was a rumor about, I don't know.
Iowa did it.
Okay.
For years, that was like a thing that the opposing locker, I think it was Hayden Fry was the coach there when they did it. The opposing locker
Mess your
room was
mind
pink.
set up before the game.
Well, okay, when you it's a psychological thing. When you are in a pink room, your aggression is. I mean, look, we're talking about the nth
Think of
degree
baby
here.
girls.
Well, you
That's
know
what I think of, baby girls.
when the cops arrest somebody on a disorderly charge, they used to say you put them in the rubber room, or you put them in this pink rubber room and it bounce off the walls and get it all out of your system, and then we'll let you go home, kind of deal. So anyway, here's what's going on. And Matt on Morning Scone, Locked On LSU, was talking about how they're out of Mississippi. There's some rumblings that Lane Kiffin may be getting cold feet. I expected these stories, frankly, 2-3 days ago. It has been, I think, a remarkably quiet Monday through Thursday of this week. I thought that there would be rumors flying hot and heavy the whole week, and really for most of the week it was okay, this is kind of done, we just have to get to Saturday and make sure Lane doesn't change his mind. Okay, well, there's a reason they call it wetting cold feet for a reason. Okay, you get there and you've been planning, but when he's actually trying to do it, you start getting a little bit nervous. I'm not reading too much into this at this point. Everybody I've checked with has the same story, that including Matt, who still thinks this is going to happen. But if there's a little bit of nervousness at this, like I said, 0 hour here, they're going to take the field in about 60 minutes. I sort of understand that. I get it. I can't tell you that it means anything, or that I can't tell you what's in Lane Kiffin's head. I think I've repeated that a number of times this week. I can't tell you exactly what Lane Kiffin is thinking. Only he knows that for sure. But everything is still lined up to proceed with him making an announcement tomorrow. There is other news, though, from since the last time we were with you. First of all, Eli Drinkwitz has agreed to a 6-year deal with Missouri, effectively taking LSU's number 2, I think, was consensus to be Eli Drinkwitz, taking him off the board there, taking him off the board at Penn State, taking him off the board at Florida. 6-year deal with Mizzou. The average is $10.75 million per season. And I think that's probably the number that gave everybody heartburn here. It's like, he's not a bad coach, but are you really going to pay him more than you paid Brian Kelly, who came with a far superior resume? And
was Lane making 9?
Until about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Then he's getting a raise one way or the other. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ain't my money. It's crazy to see where these coaches are getting paid that haven't won anything.
Well, hiring a coach, we talked about this too. Hiring a coach that's won multiple championships right now. We did blind resumes the other day. I can get you a guy who's won 3 Big Ten titles, went to the Rose Bowl 3 times, has been a coach in the Southeastern Conference, and has a team this year that at least part of the time has been in the top 25. Would you like to have Brett Bielema coach? Okay, he's one of the few. There's like 8 of them that have won multiple conference championships that are eligible to coach. When you think about, I've said this before, but take the conference championships in the power conferences from, say, 2010 to now, the last 15 years, okay? Now yank out the ones that Nick Saban won, that Urban Meyer won, that Kirby Smart won, that Dabo Swinney won, that Bob Stoops won, that Lincoln Riley won. It's about 80% of the known conference championships have been won by coaches that are either retired or not available to you. So going and finding somebody that's got multiple championships on their resume, I don't know who that is. Well, I do know it's Brett Bielema or Kirk Ferentz, these guys that have won multiple titles. Nobody that is on anybody's list. Okay? Those guys are entrenched where they are.
Well, it's the Dabos. I mean, you hear people. I don't know. There's been so much coaching. I heard something about him interviewed with Arkansas, or Arkansas tried to get an interview, which is crazy to me. But it's just such a different time to where everybody, it's almost out of desperation. Like, everybody's going to go pay these guys $10, $11, $12, $13 million just because they're scared of losing something.
Yes, that is, the fear factor is real. There's no question about it. And it's also why Vanderbilt signed this morning Clark Lee to a new contract that will keep him there for another 6 years. Now, Vanderbilt's a private school, so they don't have to release the financial details of this.
But he was another big name that everybody was talking about.
Yes, he was. Suffice to say that the term was, they have made a strong financial commitment to Lee. This is Vanderbilt now. I understand it's the new Vanderbilt, but this is Vanderbilt.
It's a scary Vanderbilt.
Yeah, dangerous Vanderbilt.
They're bringing out the money now.
Words we never used with Vanderbilt before. So this is another, if you would call it, fallback plan for the big, if we're going to call it the big three, LSU, Florida, and Penn State.
So what's left? It's Dillingham.
Well, I don't know.
Sullivan.
John Summerall is, I think, going to have probably, I'm going to say somewhere between 24 and 48 hours to make up his mind what he's going to do. And again, I think that Lane Kiffin's decision factors in here. Is Ole Miss, if Kiffin comes to LSU, in play for John Summerall? Or would he prefer the Auburn job, which allegedly he has an offer there, and he grew up in Huntsville, so is that more attractive to him? Or is Florida still in play for John Summerall? Have they moved on? Or instead is it Jed Fish, the Florida alum who's the current coach at the University of Washington? I can't answer all of that. I know that Tulane doesn't play until tomorrow night. Yeah. So getting an answer out of him before the end, but I don't think they're going to give him very much longer after that because they have to move on as well.
What's the popular name for Penn State right now?
I don't have one.
That's where everything I thought was where Drinkwitz could have been turning.
Yeah. The name that I had heard early in the search, it was sort of a dark horse candidate at Penn State, was Brian Hartline, who's the OC at Ohio State, but he's never been a head coach, which does not necessarily mean that he can't be there. That name's still Brian, on the. You played against him. Yeah. He is going to be a hot name at some point. That's a mega jump. From OC, he's 37 years old, I believe. That's a mega jump from that to a head coaching job at Penn State. That's not a small job. So you've got his name is still out there, but I don't have another great name for you at Penn State right now.
The jobs that are still open, like I feel like Virginia Tech's the only person that's hired anybody. And they hired James Franklin, which was let go.
Well, Oklahoma State hired.
Did they hire the guy from North Texas?
They hired Eric Morris.
You liked Eric Morris. Eric Morris was he had a very good quarterback.
He's had multiple good quarterbacks. So he was responsible for recruiting John Mateer at Washington State. He was up there with him for a short period of time. Then he was at Incarnate Word, and they brought in Cam Ward. Okay, now you have him. With this hotshot quarterback, Drew Mestamaker, which is a really cool name, that was not even a starter in high school and has thrown for about 3,500 yards with North Texas this year. His quarterback last year, Chandler Morris, averaged 314 yards per game. He transferred to Virginia after last season.
What's North Texas' record this year?
They're 10-1.
Okay, so they're going for – I don't know. They're not in the playoff.
They might.
They're in the
They
playoff
could
look?
be
Okay.
if things fall right for them.
And so is he?
They
What's
could be
their
the-
plan?
He can stay.
Okay.
He can stay until Oklahoma
That's
State
what you
has.
should be.
has-
I mean,
has
if you're
blood-
in North Texas and you got a coach that gets you there, and he's leaving to go to a bigger school, you take everything you can get from him.
Sure. From North Texas' standpoint, it's easy. It's Oklahoma State that has to worry about, well, he's still going to be coaching that team. Signing day is Wednesday. Do you want to sacrifice that that amount of time?
The only time we went through it, and it wasn't with a head coach, like Bo Pelini, we all knew he took the Nebraska job before the national championship. But, so we knew that he had to leave a certain amount of days during the week, but he came back for practices. He might have missed, one or two. But, for us, it was like a celebration of Bo. Everybody was happy for Bo. He got the head job.
There's a very different. I think there's a very different feeling from when a coordinator gets promoted to when a head coach is leaving you.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in your conference.
Oh shoot! I forgot North Texas, and they're in the same conference now.
No. I meant Kiffin leaving.
Okay,
Ole Miss coming to LSU.
I was talking about the North Texas guy.
No. They're in the American. So they could be playing in a championship game next week. All those things are on the table. And Southern University has hired a football coach as we wrap up here the first segment. It's a name you're probably familiar with, Marshall Faulk, who continues a trend of former NFL standouts that have taken jobs at the FCS level, and in the SWAC. Now you got Deion Sanders and Deion had him on staff up there. He is going to take the head coaching job at Southern. Eddie George, who went from Tennessee State to now Bowling Green. Michael Vick is coaching at Norfolk State. Deshaun Jackson is doing great things. This is another one. Southern has gone through 5 coaches in the last since COVID. So hopefully Marshall Faulk can come in. Yeah,
5 years.
It's been messy. So great to have him back in state. Marshall Faulk's never been anything but a class act and one of the best football players ever in the Hall of Fame. So good luck to him as he takes over at Southern University. We're here at Ruffino's. It is our annual Black Friday sale. All of your gift cards are available right now. For every $100 you spend, you'll get a $50 bonus card that you can use between January 2nd and the end of March. Make great stocking stuffers here in the holidays. You can also get them ruffinosrestaurant.com online all weekend. So come on by and see us. They've been open since about 8 o'clock this morning. Barry, the bartender, with a smile on his face, serving as we hand out we sell
I looked
gift
up,
cards.
that wasn't Barry.
No, that's not. But Barry's here. Barry's been here all morning. We're glad that you're with us. We're about 45 minutes away from Black Friday football. Looking forward to that. This is Live at Lunch, Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Ruffino's. We're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, because when it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. Like Coastal Capital do for you what they have done for our family, which is give you that peace of mind and come up with that retirement plan, a lifetime relationship born out of those conversations. No matter where you are in life, your age, your income level, they'll get a plan that is perfectly tailored to you and your family. Go to coastalcapitaladv.com to set up an appointment. Talk to Phil Fontenot. He's going to make you feel real good about where you're headed at coastalcapitaladv.com. Member FINRA SIPC. One other coaching move that was made today, Alabama wide receivers coach Jamarcus Shepard, he was also the co-offensive coordinator there, has been named at Oregon State as their next head coach. He's worked at both Washington and Washington State. He was on DeBoer's staff at Washington, so he's headed back up to the Pacific Northwest to take over Oregon State. Rich, I can't imagine what this week has been like for the Ole Miss players.
No.
From the meetings that they have where they're looking at Lane Kiffin, and he hasn't given them an answer, along with everybody else that we know of.
Yeah.
And I think if he had said something, it would have leaked out of that locker room. It's too big. It's too big to keep a secret. To when they got to go home for the break, if they went home for the break, or if they're from too far away, they're gathering amongst each other for Thanksgiving or whatever. If they got the team together, I'm not sure. But obviously yesterday they would have gotten the team together at for the pregame meal. But I'm talking about earlier in the week. What's going through their heads? I can't imagine this can't be a distraction.
No, I mean it most definitely is, unless they've sat down and they've preached to each other. What he talked about in his press conference the other day is this isn't the same deal as years before when guys were there for 4 years and coaches were there, and he said that they look at things as a 1 year deal. These guys came here for 1 year. He said half my team didn't know what the Egg Bowl was, and the other half just learned last year. So when he puts it in that perspective, to me, it makes it a little bit easier saying this isn't your traditional guys who've been here for 4 years, 80% from the state of Mississippi, want to ride this out. He's built this culture to around it's all about 2025 or it's all about 2024. Let's finish this, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. There's ways that I've gone about in my head on how he would sell it. It's really hard for me to relate to because it's just not the style or time frame that I played in. But it's easy for me to understand that, like, when you're playing in this transfer portal world and he's going out and signing 25 new guys every year and they're starters. I mean, he's going to get 15 of his 22 starters in the transfer portal. But these guys don't have a long-term look at it. It's all about we all got here to do one thing, and it's play this year.
I think it's a great point because if you are your age, okay, certainly if you're my age, if you're older than me, you come from a culture that is you're with your team. You're with your team for 4 years, maybe 5 years. You grew up watching that team. If you're from Louisiana, maybe 3/4 of the roster is from Louisiana. You're died, and then you find out they don't even know who Johnny Vaught is. Or here, Billy Cannon was who? I've heard that name, but now these players are. I hesitate to call them mercenaries because they're just playing the system. This is the system that they have been given to work within, and they're taking advantage of every piece of it that they can. I would probably do the same thing. If you were being recruited this year, well, I mean, I know your dad would have whipped your butt if you tried to go to 4 schools in 4 years, but it's a different mentality.
But it's a business. Like my dad, you said.
There's a word. It's a business.
My dad wouldn't have whipped my butt if I could have made $500,000 here, and like next year he's like, "Well, you can go over there. You make $750,000, and then the next year you make $1 million." My dad would have probably made me change every 4 years if that's the style it was.
Yeah.
I just don't think like these kids that, and I've thought about this a lot over what was going on. I don't think they really care, like because these guys right now. Guess what, Lane? You're gone. I'm gone too. Where do I want to go? Who's my next favorite coach?
If he comes back, how many of them are going to leave?
Exactly.
Anybody who hasn't played is going to leave. Or anybody gets a better offer.
So now it's like, okay, coach is leaving. Well, I can leave too. Like when my coach left, we were stuck there. Like if I wanted to go to my second favorite school, I'm sitting out a year.
Yeah.
They don't have to do that anymore. Like, okay, you leave, then I'm leaving too, and I'm going to somewhere else.
Like if you're Austin Simmons, okay, who started the season as the starting quarterback, got hurt. Trinidad Chambliss came in and played so well they couldn't put him on the bench. And now there is talk that whether it's there or somewhere else at Chambliss, they're going to go, try to extend his career on I'm going to call it the Pavia rule with the junior college stuff. Well, if you're Austin Simmons, you're going back to play backup again. You didn't think you were going to be a backup this year.
He probably already knows where he's going. He's probably already got
deal. Yeah. He's sitting there. Kiffin's giving a speech, and he's like, "Dude, whatever." I
got a month left before I get to my new school.
I'll be at Auburn next. I'm making up a school at Oklahoma State or West Virginia, wherever.
Like early on, trying to relate to this, it was hard because I think about my playing days and how we were all stuck. When the coach left us, there was no rules for us to get out of it. We were stuck. And I could see where that made me hate the guy for leaving us. Now it's like, let's just finish the season. I'll go somewhere else too.
Yeah. And I'll ask you to tell the story again. I asked, we had Matt Flynn on a pregame last week. I asked you how you guys felt when the news broke that Les might be leaving. I mean, now you guys had to deal with this for a few hours. They've had to deal with this for a few weeks. But what was going through your head was like, wait, Les might be leaving? We're about to play for the Southeastern Conference Championship today.
I remember exactly. I was laying in my hotel bed, relaxing, watching, I think, Game Day, and it breaks, and we're like, huh? And you start texting, and people start calling. They're like, you saw that? And everybody's getting a little bit nervous, and we're like, well, what the hell's going on? But like you said, you said a couple hours. That lasted maybe 40 minutes, 30 minutes. Like, all of a sudden, we got a phone call. Everybody get to a team meeting. We got a team meeting real quick. I mean,
and what did he say?
It was just like, I'm not going anywhere. And
Les got up and said, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, he basically shut it all down, said, you ain't got nothing to worry about. I mean, he left no doubt. He said, we're going to play this game. We're going to win it, do whatever we got to do. But he shut it down immediately. So, like, it was an uncomfortable question for 30 to 45 minutes, and I felt like, no, the team meeting. What
if it had gone on? What if he hadn't addressed it? I mean, I don't know how he could have not, but
yeah, I don't know.
Because Lane hasn't. Whatever he's told the team, it's not one way or the other. I'm going here, going there, or I'm staying here. He hasn't said that.
No, it's tough. Like I had Josh Henson to talk to back then. I mean, Josh would get us to the side, and he's like, no, don't worry about it. We'll have a meeting. Now, when you don't address it, my guess is he's talked to his guys in some form or fashion and said, hey, let's worry about 2025. Keep it 2025. We're not talking about anything else. And get the full – everybody's goal. Y'all came here to win a championship. Y'all came here to do this. We got 1 year. Don't worry about all the other BS. Let's focus on what you came here for because most of y'all are graduating and leaving anyway. And if he could sell that in the locker room, that's the only way you get it done.
You think if the sideline reporter, whoever that is today, comes up to him right before the game and asks him what he's thinking about, he says, I just want to go coach my damn strong football team today. That would be good. That would be
just genius.
Yeah.
If he does that.
That's like
with the LSU ties.
High level trolling at that point. We are brought to you by the Morris Insurance Group. For your big boy toys, your boats, your trailers, your motorcycles, your tractors, your RVs. If you haven't been able to get affordable and good coverage on those big boy toys, we urge you to look again. For homeowners, auto, and commercial insurance as well, the Morris Insurance Group. If you have duck camps and fishing camps that are in coastal areas, you need flood insurance, they can help you out there too. Call 225-201-0007, 225-201-0007. Ask for Buzzy Heidel, or you can go online, get a free quote at morris-ig.com, morris-ig.com. Live here at Ruffino's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
In return here at Ruffino's, it is Black Friday gift cards today. Buy $100 and get $50 bonus cards that are good from January 2nd all the way through the end of March. We're also brought to you by Total Maintenance, AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing. Your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these things. Since 1980, the slogan's been service today, every day. So nobody's got to go to sleep hot or, as it turns out, cold or uncomfortable. Both in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, a full-service staff for authorized dealers for Carrier, American Standard, Daykin, and Ream AC units, Generac, and Cummins generators for all your electrical and plumbing needs as well. In Baton Rouge, 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. All right, Rich, let's talk about the football contest between LSU and Oklahoma. Yeah, tomorrow. 2:30. You're working tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So the injury report is where we got to start. Garrett Nussmeier is not going to play. We knew that. Braylon Moore is out. Aaron Anderson is out. Nick Anderson is out.
When did Nick Anderson get hurt?
2 games ago, I think it was.
Okay.
Two games ago. The good news is that there are other 3 players that could be back. And I don't think we expected to have Ori Williams after last week, at least right after the game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think. Well, he could play. Tyree Adams, who we haven't seen in over a month, could be back. And Whit Weeks, who we found out has a broken ankle, not a bone bruise in his ankle.
Bone bruise for about 4 weeks until someone let the cat out the bag.
He did.
Yeah.
It wasn't real cryptic. He's like, my ankle was broken.
See,
how do you play on a broken ankle?
My guess is it's not necessarily broken. It's probably fractured.
What's the difference between a break and a fracture?
Completely broken or a crack in it.
A hairline fracture.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue. I mean, it could be just snapped in half, and he's freaking God.
Superman,
doing it. But I just don't. The injuries this year have been so weird to me, and like so disguising. The Nussmeier drama all year long. Is he hurt or is he hurt? He's not going to be right to the bye week. He's healthy enough to play. We're not going to do that. Like, okay, that was confusing as hell. He's got a bone bruise on his ankle for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden he comes out, no, my ankle's broken. Like, that's been a little strange this year. I'm not used to that.
No, Les was always very cryptic with injuries. I don't know how much you guys got to hear that.
Yeah.
Who was the center that was
Brett Helms?
No.
P.J. Lonergan?
P.J. Lonergan. P.J. Lonergan was supposed to – oh, yeah, he's going to Tennessee. He's just a little nicked. He's going to play. Yeah, he's fine. He didn't make a trip. So Les would
he did that
intentionally
when I
mislead
sat out
you.
against Alabama. He made me go through warm-ups, full pads with a helmet on, walking around so that I was still listed on the starting lineup as starting.
And you weren't going to play.
And they pulled me 20 minutes before the game, and they're like, yeah, he's not playing.
Right. And look, there's that's strategic, and I get all that. That's just fine. The Nussmeier thing.
The Whit Weeks thing to me is even crazier. A broken ankle.
Yeah, right.
To me, let's talk about that one because there's no bone bruise where he's questionable. I mean, we've been iffy if he's going to play the last 2 or 3 weeks and it's broken.
Well, he played last week.
Yeah.
Not for very long, but he played last week. I don't know how much he's going to be able to do tomorrow. We'll see. The Nussmeier thing, I think he wanted to play through it. I think it kind of came and went as far as how much it hurt. We've talked about this ad nauseum, Rich. I mean, we do the film study, and you look at it and you go, okay, well that throw looked pretty strong. That throw had some zip on it, and then you see another one and you say, oh man, that didn't look too pure. I think that he went through stages where it would start to feel a little bit better, and then at times it would start to feel a little bit worse. And the one thing that would have gotten him right was a long period of just rest, convalescence, and they didn't have time to do it. We've gone through that 100 times. That should they have sat him against Southeastern? 100%. Should they have sat him against Ole Miss?
Probably.
I would have gone a long way towards thinking, hey, listen, you lose the game, but you get your quarterback right for the conference run, the rest of the conference games, all of that. I would imagine. No, I can't prove it, but probably Nussmeier doesn't feel all that different now than he did 3 weeks ago when he was playing. Can you go gut it out tomorrow? Listen, if we were playing for the SEC championship, probably so. But I'm not doing the team any good. I'm not doing myself any good. So it's best that I just do what I should have done 2 months ago, which is rest this thing and wait for pro day. Wait for the combine. The offensive line to me is a bigger deal for tomorrow, because of this Oklahoma defensive front. It leads the nation in sacks, leads the nation in tackles for loss, and is the top rush defense in the Southeastern Conference. Now, LSU wasn't able to take advantage of what was a woeful defense for Western Kentucky, not to the extent that they ran for less than half as many yards as Toledo did against Western Kentucky. So you look at this and you say, okay, we're going to bring Tyree Adams back, who hasn't played in a month. Ori Williams may be able to go back there, but you're going to have to play DJ Chester at center, which that didn't go great last week. And then you got to go play Oklahoma on the road. This is going to be a challenge.
Yeah. Ideally, if you're telling me Ori's back, I want Ori at the left side. He's by far the best tackle on the team. By far. And
but if Tyree Adams goes back in,
I put him at right tackle.
But he's never played right tackle.
I don't care.
Okay.
He doesn't play left tackle very well either.
All right.
So I'd put him at right tackle where it's a little bit slowed down. I'm telling you, I think your best shot. Eccles on the left side. The center messes me up. I don't know if Thompson ever played center, because if he did, I would put him at center and put somebody else at guard.
Unless they've done it in the last week. No, he didn't. He played some tackle at Northwestern, but not any center.
Yeah, the center's going to be tough. I thought DJ was not that bad last week.
Okay.
He did some things that were good. I mean, we saw a couple films where he got up. Didn't always. He had his issues. But, I mean, that's going to be the weak point.
All right, so I don't think they're going to put Tyree at right tackle.
No, I know.
I
They're
think
probably going to put him at left. And
Adams at left tackle, Eccles at left guard, Chester at center, Thompson at right guard, and Williams at right tackle, and Kearns your next guy.
Williams is by far the best offensive lineman.
How many reps have they had with that group?
Not many.
In a game? 0, right?
Yeah,
Tyree Adams
when Tyree went out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're going up to play Oklahoma, who's got a playoff berth on the line more than likely, on the road, and they've got one of the top defensive fronts in all of the Southeast, really in all of college football. And you've got to go up there with a makeshift offensive line. And LSU's offensive line at top strength hasn't been all that good, much less having to kind of patch this thing together. I'm not brimming with confidence.
I think our defense could keep us in the game.
I think they will.
That's the problem.
This is the way I see this game playing out. I think that the defense will keep them around into the second half. And at some point they will get worn down because they just cannot – I don't know that they're going to be able to string together enough first downs to keep on offense to keep that defense off the field. And I cited this game on the show on Wednesday. LSU played a game in 1985 against Florida, and they lost the game 20-0, and in Tiger Stadium, and it felt like they had lost the game 60-0 because I looked it up on Wednesday. They had 135 yards of total offense. I mean, they could not move against this Florida defense. This is pre-Spurrier. I believe this was Galen Hall. Galen Hall or Charlie Powell. I think it was Galen Hall. And they had multiple pros up front on defense, and they were just – LSU could not gain 10 yards to save their life. Now, LSU's defense played really well. They hung around, and eventually they broke down in the second half because – they had been on the field for so long. And the game, like I said, the game finished 20-0. It was about as thorough a beating as you can get in a 20-0 game. 20-0 doesn't sound all that bad. It felt like 40-0 or 50-0. And that's kind of how I feel like tomorrow's game is going to play out. My guess is that LSU will probably lose this game somewhere in the area of 24-6. 27-6, 27-3. But it is going to and you'll hang around. The score at halftime will be 13-0 or 13-3. You say, okay, one break. But I don't know if that break's going to come.
I love how you just gave 4 to 5 different scores, and my mind, no touchdowns, all field goals. 3, 6, 3, 9, 3, 6.
Well, do you think they're going to score a touchdown?
No, we've only scored 15 all year. No, we scored one last week. 16 touchdowns on the year outside the Southeastern game.
Your favorite stat that you've been citing all year. No, The turnovers obviously is the great equalizer. Yeah. I mean, you could catch a short field, maybe you catch a special teams, maybe you block a kick, maybe you get a punt, you run a punt back. I mean, I can't tell you for sure. Scott Rabelais told us that he was going to pick LSU to get shut out for the first time since he's been picking games, and I don't think they're going to score very many points either. But you could catch a break.
Who's the best defense LSU's played this year?
The best defense LSU has played this year, Texas A&M.
I mean,
maybe.
And they were struggling early on. I feel like they turned things around.
I thought Florida, when LSU played them, Florida was still, they were playing good defense. They had not at that point, I think, worn down all that much. I would say A&M's defense is a little bit better than Alabama's.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to.
But maybe I'm splitting hairs here.
I'm trying to think about it, as far as where can
nobody better than this one.
Okay,
I don't
and
think.
That's what I'm trying to get to. Have they seen something comparable? Have they gone against it? Because every game for the most part has been pretty dang close this year, and I feel like the guys, we're capable of busting a big play. I don't think that stylistically we are planned with a great plan to drive the field, but we can bust a play.
Yeah,
and that's what you hope to keep you in the game.
The difference between A&M's defense and Alabama's defense on the season is 31 yards a game.
Okay,
so they're comparable. I said A&M just off the top of my head, but Alabama's probably close.
No.
They're right, and I thought Florida's defensive numbers have come back in the month of November, but I just think they're worn out. That offense is awful, and so they're not able to to keep up this late in the season. That's just that's what I see. Oklahoma, I think, is better than any of these defenses. We'll take a break here at Rufino's again. It is the Black Friday gift card special. For every $100 you buy, a $50 bonus card that you can use in the first 3 months of next year between January 2nd and March the 31st. Come by and make great Christmas gifts, stocking stuffers, and they're also available on the website at Rufino'sRestaurant.com all holiday weekend long. Live at Rufino's, Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. That's brought to you by Supreme Rice. Do you have some Supreme Rice on your table yesterday for Thanksgiving? Hope you did. Supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Go to SupremeRice.com. Okay, about 10 minutes away from this thing. The outcome of the Egg Bowl today matters to Lane Kiffin's future a little, a lot, or none at all. Whether they win today or not, as far as his decision on where he's going to go, does it matter a little, a lot, or not at all?
I'd have to say not at all.
That's what I think, too.
I think the decision's already made in his head.
That's what I think, too. It is an emotional – it cannot help but be an emotional day. If Lane Kiffin had said 2 weeks ago, I'm staying at Ole Miss, I signed a contract, boom. The Egg Bowl is still emotional. Yeah. I'm telling you like you don't know. You've been telling Egg Bowl stories for a while. This is part of your family's DNA. So the Egg Bowl by itself with no other distractions, no other add-ons.
It doesn't matter like which team is good or this game's always a fight, especially to the people in Mississippi. I mean, this is Mississippi's a small state with 2 SEC schools, and the whole year is about talking trash around this game. I'm excited for it. I look forward to it every year. I've already talked to my dad this morning, talked to my sister. My sister's the
Who are you rooting for?
State. I'm always go Mississippi State. My dad played at Mississippi State, so I've always been on that side. My sister would talk trash because she graduated from Ole Miss. But, she was smart. She got her master's from LSU while I was playing. Mm-hmm. So she's got a little bit of both. But, yeah, this is a fun game. Look forward to it every year.
And after the game is over, you're going to be emotional in the locker room if you win. I can imagine that his emotions are going to be pretty high no matter what happens in this game. Either it's they won, they're going to playoffs, and he's made a decision in his
State,
head.
I just thought about State has to win to get
in a bowl. Oh yeah, I was getting there, but yeah, absolutely.
I just hit me.
They are 5-6. They need this for a bowl game. After this game, he's going to be, I would imagine, pretty emotional. By the way, his son Knox is playing in a high school football game. I believe it's quarterfinals.
Yep.
In Tupelo tonight. So he is not going back to Oxford with the team. He is going to Tupelo.
So on the Baton Rouge.
I don't know where he's sleeping tonight, but at some point he is going to Tupelo, and after that, for all I know, he's staying at the Holiday Inn in Tupelo tonight. But
hopefully his son's got the LSU headphones on for this game too.
And I would imagine we're going to get a picture at some point from wherever he is. What's he going to wear? Is he gonna have? Could you imagine if he showed up at this high school football game with an LSU pullover on?
No,
the internet would break.
What he would do is not even an LSU one, just a purple pullover.
A plain purple. Just to mess with people. He probably, in his best interest, to put a pullover with the high school name on it.
I don't know. It says Oxford on there.
Or
Oxford High. And everybody's like, oh,
what are the colors?
Blue and yellow, I believe.
Blue, okay. So you can't wear blue. That's,
go all yellow.
All right, Rich, we appreciate your contributions all year on Football Friday. You're going to be with us tomorrow for a pre- and post-game LSU and Oklahoma. Enjoy the Egg Bowl. You're going to hang out here
I'm
with
gonna be
us for a
sitting
while.
at the table right behind you.
Okay, well, you may duck in for another segment here at some point. We're at Ruffino's Black Friday gift card special right now, all the way through the holiday weekend. This is Live at Lunch. Lock of the Week Friday. Tex Morris, Edward Jones Investments, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we return here at Ruffino's Lock of the Week Friday. Tex Morris, Edward Jones Investments. It's our Black Friday gift card specials. For your $100 purchase, you get a $50 bonus card that you can use between January the 2nd and March the 31st. Come on in and make great stocking stuffers. We've been open since 8 o'clock this morning. We're doing a brisk business here. Come on in, watch. We got the football games just about to start. Egg Bowl kicking off here in just a few minutes. And we got other games, obviously, today, too. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was great.
Okay.
It was great.
Glad to.
How about the weather, man?
Glad to hear it. A little chilly.
Oh, I thought it was great yesterday.
Oh, yesterday was, yeah. No, it's a little cooler today. I'm fine with this.
It's warming up. It's warming up. It's fine. The weather's good, man. Weather's been good, so no humidity, a little nip in the air. You get it even in the morning if you want to get a little fireplace going. So gumbo, it's gumbo. You take that turkey carcass, put it in the gumbo, the supreme rice, load it up on all my parboiled rice. We're ready to go.
All right. A little bit of news here as an On3 article coming out of the Florida camp that says Florida, this is not a surprise to anybody, Florida does not expect to land Lane Kiffin and is closing in on other targets. The Kalshi odds, Max, you got them in front of you, have changed significantly on him to Florida. We've kind of thought Florida's been out of it for a while, but this is a little bit more concrete. What do Kalshi odds say right now?
Well, he was 58% to the no to Florida, so they had some odds on him, about 40% to go to Florida. That is adjusted now. You'd have to 89 cents to the dollar to the no. So essentially 11% chance they're giving him to go to Florida, which is a massive move for since this morning. And obviously that changes LSU's odds as well. That market is now 84% Lane Kiffin, when earlier this morning we saw it around the 58% mark.
It was around 60 yesterday. We're at the Thanksgiving table and watching football after and advising people to take a shot, basically minus $1.50. And I thought it was really mild, but it's gained a lot of steam. That's very. And what has really happened?
Nothing.
Yeah. And this is what you get when you have an agreement in principle, and then you got to put a pause for a week. Everybody
gets a little nervous.
He reserves. Yeah. And the confidence level, if you add up to Ole Miss, Gainesville, and Baton Rouge, it doesn't add up to 100%. You're always going to have a little bit more confidence. So that's why we know all of our information that they're more than confident. It's just you wonder if there's just kind of there's some confidence in Gainesville and Oxford as well. It's just even Kiffin, who's always had his head on a swivel, he's calmed down, and this is the most stable run that he's had for this stretch in Oxford. In a lot of ways, I think he's a better fit in Oxford than Baton Rouge because it's I'm just not sure how his ways are going to be accepted or viewed in a higher expectation, high resource program. So, but man, he's whined about the transfer portal all the day. Wait a minute, I don't have to go and do this white linen tablecloth at dinner to try and get a few $1,000 out of boosters from my player. You going to guarantee it to me? I could just coach. You say, well, I got $25 million to spend, and then I could do some other. Man, I'm in. So that's one of the biggest aggravations, conditions of being a big-time head football coach in college right now. So he's got that. And damn it, I mean, he was going out of his way to do some damage if he's staying at Oxford. And the one thing we knew, Charlie, we get information. One thing we knew, he had that contract on his desk for 6-7 weeks, whatever it was. Didn't sign it for a reason.
Yeah, I would say any nervousness today is the equivalent of cold feet before a wedding. Where where it's actually time for everything to happen, and there's a little bit of nervousness. But I do think that when we're sitting here tomorrow at whatever time, that information will leak out that he's headed to Baton Rouge. I've received nothing I talked to Matt this morning. He had on his Locked on LSU. Hey, listen, there's some people in Ole Miss that are thinking that they may have one last shot at this thing, may have a little bit better shot now as he starting to get a little bit emotional about it. Frankly, I expected those stories earlier in the week. I'm a little bit surprised it was as quiet this week as it was. So a little bit of last-second jitters, but I'm like you. I think
last-second jitters from Oxford or here?
For him. For him.
For him?
Yeah. That's what the Ole Miss people are saying. But, again, I expected to hear something like that.
Charlie, do the results matter today where you have two of the games that matter to the SEC title hopes for Ole Miss? Obviously, they play here shortly, but also tonight, Texas A&M. If Texas were to win, Ole Miss would go in the Iron Bowl tomorrow night with a chance of the SEC title game. Maybe that would change the timeline where they're expecting an announcement.
Doesn't matter. He's got the deadline for Monday. They're going to have a coach. He's going to LSU, and the game's next week, so it doesn't fit in. This fit in. And he bought himself some time. He said, can you wait for me, guys? Can I coach the Egg Bowl? Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. But no, we need you in place by December 1st.
Monday is LSU's deadline. Ole Miss's deadline's tomorrow. They said that. Hey, you got to say something. Carter said, you're going to say something next Saturday. Win, lose, or draw.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed minus the waiting game. You're just closer.
Right.
So the million-dollar question is, how's this team going to respond today?
I can't imagine that this hasn't been a distraction for them all week. How is that going to affect them today? Who can say? I have no idea. I know this is an emotional enough game. Mississippi State needs this game to get bowl eligible, and even if they didn't, this is still a bitter rivalry. I can't imagine it helps any. Is it going to hurt them? I don't know. You got a feel?
You've seen the line. Well, there's some concern, and that's why the line is calmed down. Is going down.
Got all the way down to 7 before it popped.
I saw 6.5.
You saw 6.5.
I saw 6.5.
Okay.
No, not this morning, but yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Saw 6.5 yesterday.
He's out on the field. Taylor McGregor is the sideline reporter. I said he should go out there and say, I'm going to coach my damn strong football team. I just thought that would be kind of humorous.
I don't think he's in the business of mimicking Les Miles. Actually, I know what he thinks of Les Miles. So.
I just thought it would be a fun troll. But, no, he's
he doesn't do that.
No, never.
No, he doesn't do it in person. He does it behind his keyboard.
Yeah, on the on the thing. Who you on? Who did you take the points?
No, I just stuck with my bet that Ole Miss would miss the playoff at plus 11.20.
Okay. So you're pulling. Essentially, you have a state money line bet today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I compared it to when they were like plus 300. A week and a half ago, and it was. I thought that this thing had a chance to not make this game. Remember that this was a week ago. Max was even money basically. Or a week and a half ago, him to coach the Egg Bowl? It was right around 50% at Calci. Was that a little over a week ago?
That was before the announcement that the decision was expected on Saturday.
Yeah. It was before last Friday.
Before that was released, it was 50%, and it cratered, obviously.
Yeah. So, it's so we'll see. We've seen coaches do the calling the Hogs or do a press conference.
Mm-hmm.
He can come in here and do a Go Tigers, and he said, I'm going to go. So I don't know. I think the Calci, if we're advising people on Calci too, I would go after Fish. Jed Fish, I think, is a real
to Florida.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
I think that could work.
They could do a lot worse than him, Charlie.
No, he's a very promising coach. The other coaching news. Clark Lee gets a new deal at Vandy this morning. Eli Drinkwitz got a new deal at Missouri yesterday. So those off the board.
Well, that tells that even strengthens your position as far as Kiffin. This thing is coming to fruition because Drinkwitz was perceived as being, I believe, was the number 2. I think so too. Okay, yeah. I think he was number 2. and he gave them the indication he's interested.
Right.
He let his feelings know. Well, he's basically gotten word that this thing's not going to open up. I'm going to resign my new deal.
I think the next domino, if tomorrow it leaks out, there's a statement put out, I'm going to LSU for Kiffin. I think the next move belongs to John Summerall. Will it be Auburn? Is he interested in Florida? Is Florida interested in him? Or is he going to be in play for this Ole Miss job? Wouldn't he be the next guy?
I think the Napier, small mid-major Louisiana school, maybe it shouldn't count, but they went that route last time, and it was a bust.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but Auburn and Ole Miss for sure. Auburn for sure.
I would think that Ole Miss would be interested in him.
Yeah.
But I think Fish for Florida is more of a possibility.
Fish to Florida,
more
Summerall to Auburn.
Yes, yeah.
Kelsey right now is Summerall is a slight favorite, 57%, and then Jed Fish at 46%.
Wait, what's that?
So Summerall is actually slightly higher right now in the odds to Florida. To go to Florida.
There you go. That's why that's why I would
57.
advise get some money on Fish.
Mm-hmm. Who else we forgetting? Who else is out there? I mean, what other coach do we know that's been on all these boards? Do
you think I'm wrong? Do you think Florida will offer Summerall ahead of Fish? I don't.
I can't tell you for sure. I would say no. I would think Fish would be the better option, as Ole Miss has scored on their opening drive and lead it here 6-0. They went down the field in 2 minutes?
Yeah.
32 yards.
Keywan Lacey, another touchdown. How many touchdowns does he have this year?
They didn't look very distracted.
And that's what Kiffin has done a good job in his evaluation of talent and bringing them in. Guy had 24 rushes last year for Missouri.
That's
so he showed nothing. So is it his scheme that he puts these guys in better position to have success? Yes, we've seen that. We've seen that with multiple guys, and only Dart looks like the quarterback was actually talented enough, might be able to do it on his own.
Well, Missouri picked up a running back from UL Monroe that, is
I'm well aware.
Ahmad Hardy.
Well, that's the two all-SEC running backs.
Yeah.
That's the first teams.
Their system worked pretty good for him. Maybe Lacey just needed to, mature after one more year. I don't know. They looked two long plays in that first drive.
I could tell you, Ahmad. These guys after 24 carries, and you got an idea. So it's a little bit of both. He is a skilled players are going to excel in his offense, in his system, his scheme better than others, and also a little evaluation of for talent. That he's, so it's he's people even yesterday. Well, what's he won? And the light, Charlie, and so I need light, Charlie. So the he is maxed out. He's maxed out at this. The 68,000 will get coaches fired. At the majority of schools in the SEC. At Ole Miss, they throw a parade. Because you had a record crowd of 68,000. It's just,
that's how many seats they got.
Fill
them all.
60 years is a decent sample size, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got, and is the SEC stronger than it was in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he's done it where you can't. He's maxed out, and I think he's, now job security. No, it's no. It's going to be tougher. At a higher resource, high expectation program. We're at Rufino's Black Friday, our gift card special. Again, if you come in for every $100 that you spend, you get a $50 bonus card. So that is a great deal. We're open all the way through the day. We got the table set up where it's in and out. You talk about easy parking. As you plenty of parking. Get in here. We have it set up, and you're in and out within 5 minutes with your gift cards. Today and today only. The Black Friday gift card special here at Rufino's. Appetizer features today are andouille crusted shrimp, Louisiana Gulf shrimp with a sweet chili glaze and pickled vegetables, crispy steak tips. There you go with the Worcestershire marinade with the peanut romesco. Entree features today, veal Michael. That's a staple for here for so many years. The veal medallions with lump crab meat, imperial sauce with capellini and a vodka tomato cream sauce. Suggested wine pairing is a Morgan Pinot Noir out of Santa Lucia Highlands. The Saison spiced halibut is our fresh catch of the day. The warm black bean succotash, adobe rice, chimichurri sauce with the plantain chips. Suggested wine pairing is a Pejus Chardonnay out of Napa. That's our Friday, our weekend specials all throughout the week in addition to our regular menu here at Ruffino's.
Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bulldogs with a drive after Ole Miss scores the opening touchdown. First start for Kamario Taylor, the quarterback out of Macon, Mississippi. They are into Ole Miss territory. We're 5 minutes into the Egg Bowl.
All right, let's go out to the West Coast in San Diego. Happy Thanksgiving to our Italian brother, Mr. Chris Massero. How you doing, Chris?
What's going on, guys? Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, indeed. What was the best dish on your plate? I know you Italians. You do a little bit of Italian and traditional holiday fare. It's almost a fusion, huh? Is that what it was yesterday?
Well, there was so much food on the kitchen island yesterday that I woke up this morning and there was a crock pot on my desk. So we had to move a lot of stuff around. We had some lasagna, we had turkey, some Italian sausages. You know, we do the rest of the regular stuff, potatoes and stuffing, but. You know, we gotta have a little red sauce in there. So it was nice enough to have the lasagna, which was my favorite.
Ole Miss goes right down the field with a long Lacey touchdown, but Mississippi State has a drive going. This started at their own 2-yard line, and they are knocking on the door of the red zone. So got a nice drive going here, and they have a lot of explosive plays as well. I mean, there was one about 18 yards that he gets tripped up. He might have gone 98. So, not a whole lot of defense early in the Egg Bowl in Starkville. Chris, how did you view this thing, and how did you play it with all the distractions with Kiffin and things like that? The line going from basically 11.5 to 7.5. What did you play, if anything, on this game?
Yeah, I didn't play anything. I can't really trust Kiffin. I don't really like to be involved in many of these Kiffin games. I know it sounds crazy, but. We talked about it last week. The guy I know for as talented and I guess you can say genius play caller offensively as he is, I still think he has a little bit of a screw loose. And maybe I heard you guys talking right before the break, no distractions on offense right down the field. Looks like the defense is a little distracted. Wide receivers are wide open. No one's making many tackles, and this drive is moving right along down the field. I'd love to give out my best bet as the over in the first half. As the freshman quarterback just runs right in the end zone with, nothing, it looks like Ole defense right there. We're tied up.
Well, the clock operator is on the under, so he's they've scored and it's been running for 20 seconds now. So
97-yard drive,
typical Egg Bowl. They stopped it. There you go. About 25 seconds ran off. I know, but it's just everybody's kind of the defenses and the clock operator all on the sleep pattern. So yes, indeed. So I'll tell you this though, Kamario Taylor, if he can throw the ball like that, he just ran it in for about 20 yards, and this will be a headache today for this Ole Miss defense if he can consistently throw the ball like that, because, I mean, there was very little resistance by the Ole Miss defense. All right, Chris, let's get to him. Another good week for you last week, man. You've been on a roll as of late.
Yeah, I mean, last week was pretty exciting. I'm actually kicking myself. I gave out under in the Browns-Raiders game for Sunday, and I didn't use that in the VSiN contest. I switched my pick from that to the over in the Patriots game, which should have gone over. I still can't believe Patriots got stymied from the 1-yard line that many times. But whatever, we'll take it. It was a great 4-1 college week and 2-0 in the NFL. So 6-1, that's tough to keep going, but we'll try our best today. And the first game I'm going to look at is later tonight, the game between Texas and Texas A&M. And the three underlying themes I keep hearing about this game is, Arch Manning's really improved, and Texas has a strong defense, and A&M hasn't played a tough schedule. Well, I like to refute a couple of those points. I'm not sure how much Arch Manning has improved. He does a lot of dump down passes. I know he's got the big arm, but he just doesn't seem to connect on many deep balls. And I'm just not sold on this guy. Maybe he matures down the road and becomes a good NFL quarterback, but at this point in time, I just don't see it. And if you talk about Texas has a strong defense, I'm not sure about that either. I mean, the last 4 games they've given up 37, 35, 31, 38. They should have lost to Kentucky and Mississippi State. They've lost to Ohio State, Florida, Georgia. Their best win is Vandy, and they were holding on for dear life to get to that one. I think A&M got their scare versus South Carolina. This offense has been elite all season long. They put up 48, 31, 38, 49, 45, 34, 31. 3 games early in the year, 41, 44, 42. 10 games of 31 or more, 6 games of 41 or more. The only game they didn't put up a lot of points is against Auburn, 16. I think Reed with Concepcion and Craver back healthy now, I think they're going to put up a lot of points. I just think they're a better team. And I like the Aggies. I played at -1, -117 early in the week. I think we're up to 3. I still like it.
Yeah, 3 -105 at the DraftKings outlet where we'll be this weekend for football Sunday. All right, who's next?
Let's go to the big house. Interesting game here. Ohio State's got a couple injuries. Jeremiah Smith questionable, Connell Tate questionable. I'm sure they're both going to play, but we'll see. I mean, Sayan didn't look the same without those guys last week. I know they beat a lousy Rutgers team, but I'm just not so sure. Has this Buckeye schedule, has it been trash? No Oregon, no Indiana, no USC, no Iowa. They beat that inept Texas team week 1. It wasn't an impressive game for either team. I think Texas kind of beat themselves in that game. So who's Ohio State's best win? I guess it's Washington. When they were trailing 3-0 late in the second quarter. Referees were involved in that game. There was about 5 or 6 penalties on Washington in the first half. Really sucked the momentum out of the game. And I know they get a great defense, but who has a pretty good defense? Michigan. 17.9 points, 13th in the country. 302 yards, 13th in the country. 4.5 yards of play on defense, also 13th in the country. And this Michigan offense, I'm not a huge Underwood fan, but they're averaging 6.3 yards a play, number 21 in the country. The last 5 games, they put up 24, 31, 21, 24, and 45. They won this game 4 years in a row, and I think they can hang within the 10. I played it +10, a little bit money line. I don't know if they can steal it, but I think they can rely on the defense a little bit and hang within the number in a low-scoring game at the big house.
9.5 is where it is right now, DraftKings, so that's what we're using. All right, who's next?
Let's go to the Toilet Bowl up in the old Carrier Dome in upstate New York. You got a 3-8 Syracuse team hosting a 1-10 Boston College team. Syracuse coming off the national embarrassment versus Notre Dame. They were down 21-0 before Notre Dame ran a play. Syracuse has lost 7 in a row since their upset at Clemson. They've lost these last 7 games by a combined score of 77 to 275. Enter Boston College, losers of 10 straight. Their only win versus FBS Fordham on the opening game. Of the 10 losses, though, 7 of the 10, the game BC either had the lead late or were in the game. Games against Michigan State, Stanford, Cal, UConn, Louisville, even Notre Dame, and 2 weeks ago against Georgia Tech could have gone either way. So I think this BC team is desperate, absolutely desperate to get their first win versus a Power 4 team, even if it's against a bottom feeder like Syracuse. BC's coming off the bye. They can score some points, and this Syracuse offense with the lacrosse player at quarterback, very, very inept. So give me BC. I was hoping to get like a 1.5 or 2, but being that the line was set at 3 gives me more confidence that BC's going to go in there and score some points. So give me Boston College -3 at Syracuse.
The Toilet Bowl sounds like Notre Dame's schedule. Yes, 2 of their wins over the course of this year. Notre Dame has 3 wins over teams that none of them have a conference win. Boston College, Arkansas, and Purdue. All right, BC the third one. Who's up next, Chris?
Okay, so let's go to this game, Missouri at Arkansas. Very interesting game to me. Arkansas, they have lost, I think it's 8 in a row, 9 in a row. And we've mentioned this on the show a lot of times. I mean, Arkansas has just a dreadful defense. They can't stop anything. And Bobby Petrino decided to start a quarterback controversy this week. Taylor Green, not sure if it's going to be KJ Jackson. I know Green got hurt last week. Jackson came in and led 3 scoring drives. And then you got the situation where, Alex Golish is coming to coach. So there's a lot of distractions at Fayetteville. And you look at Missouri, they've lost 4 games this year, but the 4 teams they've lost to all could potentially be in the playoff. Bama, Vandy, A&M, and Oklahoma. And those losses are by a total of 42 points. I was reading some comments. Eli Drinkowitz this week saying the priority is to work on the offense, getting out the kinks in the last 2 games, meaning this game against Arkansas and the bowl game. And Arkansas, as we mentioned, the defense is terrible. It's a great game to work the kinks out. I don't understand this line. Maybe it's square. I'm laying Missouri minus 2.5 or a week 3. We had Missouri last week. It was one of my most confident plays. It was the only loser. They dominated the first half, ended up trailing, and not being able to score in the second half. But Missouri, I think this is very cheap here against an Arkansas team that's just been fading fast with a lot of distractions, new coach, new quarterback situation. Missouri can rely on that defense, hopefully get work the King's House against a lousy Arkansas Razorbacks defense. Give me Missouri minus 2.5 for a week 3.
All right, Missouri, the 4th pick. And your 5th.
All right, there's been a lot of talk about Josh Heupel's Tennessee team getting right over the last couple of weeks since getting blown out by Alabama. They beat Kentucky pretty big, 56-34. They blew a game they probably should have won against Oklahoma, 33-27, and that's a lot of points to give up to Oklahoma. They beat at the time a 3-win New Mexico State team, 42-9, and they beat a half-us Florida team, 31-11. Not much to write home about. Who exactly is Tennessee's best win? Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky. Give me Diego Pavia as an underdog. 10-2 at Vanderbilt as an underdog. I love this guy. I know the Heisman's probably not going to happen, but he's still back in the mix. Maybe if he puts up big numbers. This Tennessee defense, 85th in points allowed in the country, giving up 31.5 points in SEC play. I just like Vanderbilt. I think they get the job done. I think they make a big push for the playoff. Give me Pavia and the boys +3.
Is that what we're looking at right now? +3? Okay. Got that. I didn't notice that one going up to a field goal. Key number there. Ole Miss, you think States maybe has a chance on 3rd and 7. No problem. Trinidad Chambliss with a quarterback draw. He easily converts. And now Ole Miss knocking on the door again with 5:40 to go. 7 apiece. I know you've got some big futures in Alabama. You know they're going to the House of Horrors tomorrow. I mean, we've seen much better Alabama teams go in there and have some rough time on the plains. I've been trying to talk my son, say, get ready, eat good, boy, because this is not going to be fun for you Saturday.
I'm not sure how much they're going to be able to muck it up. I mean, shouldn't Alabama still be able to score some points? And Auburn just is, offensively challenged. I know they did a little quarterback switch, so that does make me a little bit nervous. I don't know. I'm still nervous that LSU might beat Oklahoma and knock my Oklahoma futures out too, but I'm not sure about that one either because Nussmeier's not going to play. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's done. He's done for the year. So a beautiful pass by Chambliss to Harrison Wallace III. I mean, a pretty touch pass. Put it right on the money. Hit him in stride for a 24-yard touchdown, pending the extra point. 5:22 to mark in the first quarter. 13-7. Ole Miss. Chris, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you on Sunday for Football Sunday, man, over at the Queen.
All right, sounds great, guys. Have a great day. Good luck.
Yes, I do. Good luck to you, buddy. Charlie?
Not much in the way of any resistance. Ole Miss.
Yeah, the 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and he scrambled for that.
There was a design run.
Then you had a Mississippi State penalty. We'll see.
Very little. The 3rd and 7. He could have. It was like it was wide open. But this kid, it's fun. This guy, we're not going to play him if Simmons doesn't get hurt. And our buddy Brett Norsworthy could confirm that for us. And they said no, they were not going to. Now when he was hurt, and we were trying to figure out who was going to start, I think it was the Arkansas game.
Yeah, 41-35. Yeah.
And they said, well, they like him. He's going to start. Simmons will dress out, but emergency only if Chambliss gets hurt. They like him, but there's a reason he's not playing. So much better. And I'll tell you, we watched that Ole Miss LSU day, and then watched Aller against Oregon. I said, what am I missing? What am I missing? That this guy is the next coming at Penn State, but this guy from Ferris State is so much better.
He is, and I'll tell you the other game when they played Oklahoma, and in those two
goal
lines, but in those two goal line situations, he brings Simmons in.
Yeah,
I can't understand
why.
That's
the goofy, unorthodox things that he thought he had to pull a play with him there, and Simmons is Chambliss, right? The Trinidad Chambliss is going up and down the field. Don't overthink this,
right?
So
and he did.
Definitely.
It cost him.
That's something that you, me, Chris, Massaro, all were like, what is he doing in this spot in the red zone? Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company, servicing all of South Louisiana. Our great team at Legacy Title, Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie and Bradford Smith, buying, building, refinancing. Nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
3 drives so far in the Egg Bowl, 3 touchdowns, 2 for Ole Miss, 1 for Mississippi State, 14-7, just under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, and State with the ball back again.
Anything, we talked about with the 22, how many possible 10-2 teams? We say like 18 to 20, something like that. 15, 18, yeah. 15 of them. And we got 22 games that have some sort of bearing on conference champions / playoff appearances. And I think that's a great thing, to have that much involved. I'm fine with one of the 12 getting in from the group of 6. I mean, I think that's okay. It's not college basketball. You're not going to have as many Cinderellas in the automatics, but I think, one of 12, okay, roughly 8% of your field is from the group of 6. Perfectly fine with that. The seeding also, because a lot of people talked about, well, what would you rather? What would you rather your team, if they go to the SEC championship game, do you rather compete in that game, or would you rather, have a home game and not have to play in the SEC championship game? But the still is, it has to be for a bye, and to have teams like that had buys in traveling the next game. The seeding is they reseed it once they get their 12, so it's not just automatic like it was last year, and so that's an obvious adjustment. But the kicking of the can is obvious, Charlie. They want to see one more year of a sample size to see how this thing plays out. What is going to happen if you got 10-2 group, and these are Power 4 teams. 15 Power 4 teams could finish 10-2.
Well, didn't they say before the season that strength of schedule was going to be more heavily considered?
Well, that's not according to the rankings so far.
That's why the SEC is balking at this. I think if they had seen rankings
balking at
the December 1st deadline, which was Monday, to have the playoff format reconfigured.
I mean, like, for instance, Ole Miss, we think that they 10-2, we would think they would be out. Most probably.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If form holds.
But if
they're 7 right now, they're not going to hang in the top 10.
Do you think that if Kiffin had signed his extension there and they were 10-2, that they would be in?
I don't know.
I'm curious myself as to how heavily that would him leaving would factor into the committee's decision.
They're 7 right now. You lose to Mississippi State. I mean, who's 1-6 in the league?
Yeah, and they're.
I mean, that you don't think they moved Alabama from 4 to 10? You don't think they're going to move to lose to Oklahoma?
No, I do.
Okay.
I'm curious as to what would happen if Kiffin had stayed, if that would have swayed them at all. There's 2 that are playing today that I don't know. Utah is playing Kansas right now. Mm-hmm. If they win, they're 10-2.
Right.
Georgia Tech is playing at 2:30 against Georgia.
Possible.
They
are
one of
the teams.
They're 9. They're 9-2.
BYU might be 11-1 and get left out.
BYU could be 11-1. A&M loses. They're okay. Nothing else tonight.
I did not include A&M in the 15 teams. They don't have a chance to be 10-2. They have a chance to be 11-1.
Right. Yeah. So they lose their.
Yeah, they got cushion. Ohio State's got a cushion.
They're still okay. The number one team that everybody seems to be kind of pining for, that's outside looking in, is Miami, because the odds are against them getting into the ACC championship game. Now they beat Pitt tomorrow. They're 10-2. But if they're 10-2 and they're not in the ACC championship game, are they going to get in? The rankings suggest no, that they would be behind a Notre Dame team that they have beaten, that Alabama would be behind a Notre Dame team.
Would be favored if they play tomorrow. a neutral field. Notre Dame was favored when they played at Miami earlier this year.
And that game was a competitive game. Notre Dame fell behind. C.J. Carr's first game on the road, played better in the second half. They got back. It's not like Notre Dame got blown out, but Miami won the game. It was in Miami. They'd have played in South Bend. Would Notre Dame have won? I don't know. Maybe. But somebody's got to be left out. And Miami, at least based on these rankings that we saw last week, is the most likely candidate to be a 10-2. Their favorite tomorrow against Pittsburgh.
Ultimately, we have to see. But, yeah, I mean, we've seen teams bully up on weak opponents, weak opposition, and then when they stepped up their class, sometimes they transfers and sometimes it doesn't. And, I mean, Notre Dame's a great bully, and they look great. But this is garbage. I mean, this is absolute garbage that they're playing. 3 teams that don't have a win in their conference? It's Thanksgiving weekend. It's not Labor Day weekend.
No.
I mean, you have Boston College, Purdue, and Arkansas. Then you play, and that's not even counting the 2 that playing in the toilet bowl, like Chris said, with Syracuse and Boston College, one of them. But, I mean, Stanford's terrible. Stanford's one of the worst teams. I mean, it is so weak. And so what happens if Texas does pull the upset? Are they going to just miss? Or is it enough to give them a quality points? That's the thing. Because if they just miss, what game costs them? The Ohio State game. Why schedule it?
Yeah.
And
and if you're going to if you're Notre Dame, this is your argument, okay?
We got a 4th down alert, Charlie.
A 4th down?
Yeah, Ole Miss
Ole
going
Miss
for
the ball.
4th and 2 at the 32.
They're going to make it.
Easy quarterback draw for about 10.
Yeah.
First down, Rebels.
All right, so if you're Notre Dame, you're saying, okay, we have a deal with the ACC. And NC State didn't have a very good year. Boston College was absolutely terrible. Syracuse was absolutely terrible. And, Pitt's having a decent year. Non-conference, we went and scheduled Miami, who is a top 15 team, A&M, who is a top 5 team, and another SEC team in Arkansas on the road that just happens to be terrible. Purdue is having one of their worst seasons. They were on the card. USC has faded. If you're Notre Dame, do you get credit for trying here?
I don't think so. You gonna give them a pass for Purdue? When has Purdue been good?
Okay, forget about Purdue. They scheduled,
Joe Tiller's been going a long time. Drew Brees and Joe Tiller are gone.
They schedule Miami. They schedule Texas A&M. They schedule an SEC team on the road. They didn't know Arkansas was going to be this bad. Now, it's not going to Alabama.
Well, they know Texas A&M was going to be that good.
They didn't. So you put 2 SEC teams on this roster.
USC what USC's been for 10 years now.
Well, this is kind of where I'm going with this is the USC game because they're trying to get out of this thing now. They don't want to play this thing where it is on the schedule. So if you give them the ranking with this schedule, which I can at least see where they tried.
I disagree. I saw this schedule before, and I talked to Tim Murray. I said, this is embarrassing. I mean, this is really bad. And
it ended up being really bad, Jimmy, but I don't.
I said it before they played one down. I thought it was a very weak schedule. It's a manipulated path. So, Charlie, they want to go completely independent to 6 conference game affiliation, all right? Well, because they want to do it with their other sports. But what conference do they pick? It's clearly the weakest of the Power 4.
That's a whole different thing. I don't like.
Well, that's half their schedule.
Well, I'm talking about if they're going to be in the ACC and take these games, and you're going to get some bottom of the ACC. Outside of the ACC agreement, they scheduled Miami, they scheduled Texas A&M, they scheduled Arkansas and USC. I mean, that's not exactly like their schedule in Northern Iowa.
But when you know the 6 opponents in the ACC are garbage, who's the toughest game there? Pitt.
It is.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're gonna hang your hat on.
So your criticism, which is fine, is that they should be in this ACC deal.
It's such an easy path, and I mean, what you screamed at forever, I mean, is accurate now. They have, I mean, they're the only ones, and because they're a big draw, they're still going to get the benefit of the doubt. But I mean, to drop Michigan every year, and even Michigan State gave them hell more times than Stanford ever will at this point. Stanford's had one little spurt with Harbaugh and just after that they were good. They're not. They're back to being worse than they ever have been. And so when you drop those games, and USC's not as good. So it's just such an easy path. They had no idea that Texas A&M was going to be that good.
I think it was a lot worse last year. Last year they played Northern Illinois. I remember because they lost. They played Miami of Ohio last year. They played Army last year. When you schedule those games, then you're not trying to. At least when you're scheduling Miami and A&M and Arkansas, at least you're trying a little bit harder than you were. I thought last year's schedule was a lot worse.
They lost 2 of those games. And they're still going to playoffs.
Well,
I mean,
should they be in the playoff is a different argument.
The only tough games you have, I mean, there is a big difference between, and maybe we'll see, tomorrow with Miami and Pitt. I mean, it is the weather conditions certainly neutralize the advantage of Miami.
Slushy tomorrow?
Yeah, 30s. Yeah, I mean, it's not. And a whole lot of
35 degrees.
Not a whole lot of guys on that Miami roster that's played in that kind of.
Get Barry the bartender. He knows what the weather's like in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough. Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years. At United Community Bank, your business is our business. We support the hardworking folks behind local business from initial startup loans to ongoing planning and assessment. United Community Bank is here for you. Check out our great team at UCB, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, and Prentice Wilkes. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I wish Taylor McGregor would ask him, Coach, given that your team went up and down the field on your first 2 drives, are you more likely to take the LSU job now or before? She wouldn't ask him that. 14-7, Ole Miss as they start the second quarter in Stark Vegas. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
A lot going on at the Egg Bowl. The Rebels miss a 37-yard field goal. Mississippi State taking over, and Kamario Taylor starting today in place of Blake Shapen, who was benched. This was not an injury situation. Jeff Lebby saying that he thought Taylor could give them an offensive spark, and he did. A 39-yard run that got him into Ole Miss territory, but then, Jimmy, they turned the ball over.
Very next play. You can see that Ole Miss is having problems as far as defending the running threat of a quarterback who does pose that, like Taylor, and he ripped off, like you said, right at 40 yards. And the first play, he was throwing to the short side. Ball was snapped from the right hash. He was going to throw a little hitch pattern, and the lineman hits it up. It bounces straight up, and another lineman catches deflection. First down turnovers are brutal, and just, Mississippi State needs some breaks, like a place kicker missing, who's 21 of 23 on the year, missed a 37-yard field goal. He hooked it left, but got him a little spark, but they gave it right back here. So Ole Miss trying to get their first their first 2-score lead of the game with Chambliss. So it's got a 3rd and 10 now. So interesting first. Maybe State could get it right back here, but we'll see. One thing I know that Cabra loves Kiffin. He can his airtime is about 15-1 over Levy.
I haven't seen Levy. Is he there?
Oh, no,
they on the other sideline.
They showed him, but it's minimal, yes.
The other scores going on right now, Utah leads Kansas 10-7. That's early in the second quarter. Iowa and Nebraska are tied at 10 at the end of 1. Ohio and Buffalo are tied at 7 early in the second quarter, and Kent State leads Northern Illinois 10-7. That is also early in the second quarter. We're here at Rufino's. It is the Black Friday sale. Gift cards available today. A $100 gift card purchase will get you
out for Ole Miss.
a $50 bonus that you can use those bonus cards between January the 2nd and March the 31st next calendar year. Great stocking stuffers. Come on by here at Rufino's. Join us for lunch. We're watching the games and enjoying this holiday weekend here on Highland Road. We'll take a break, come back. Bruce Marshall will join us live at lunch. Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. He's out there somewhere in the world. Maybe even your local sports book.
Can anybody help us?
Let's bring in Bruce Marshall.
Brucey, how you doing, buddy?
Happy Thanksgiving week, Jimmy.
You had a chance. We had our longtime buddy Brett Norsworthy on with us. That was a Tuesday, huh? Like 10 days ago, Charlie?
I thought it was even Monday. Might have been.
I thought we were at.
Tuesday. That was Tuesday. That's right.
I thought we were at Mike
Anderson's, yeah,
at that
Tuesday.
day. And, it was early, and he said, he thought that the Kiffin was going to be returned to Ole Miss at that point.
That was 2 Tuesdays ago.
Right, 10 days ago.
Okay, got
yeah.
it.
And so we had our buddy Brian Edwards on from Florida, and he thought that, he'd know about Layla being the daughter of an All-American quarterback and John Reeves, and he thought that, and we thought he was going to end up here. Brett has shifted his over the past week or so as we're put on this agreement in principle, which we believe that is to be true. He's had an agreement in principle for a week or so, a little over a week, and but you have a pause because he wants to coach the game before LSU's deadline on December 1st. Brett's confidence has shifted, though, as we watch the Egg Bowl today, Bruce.
It has, and I'm watching right now with you. By the way, I did end up taking Mississippi State in this game. I kind of heeded your advice from last week. Brett's shifted here, and he's in a pretty good position there. I mean, he's on the Ole Miss radio crew, so he's got some insight there. But we are talking about Lane, so, he has thrown some curveballs. But, every indicator is that he's going to leave Ole Miss and go to LSU, and we'll see what happens. It's funny, though, the way the carousel is turning here, though. You can see some of these coaches are taking their names off the board. Eli Drinkwitz just got a nice contract upgrade and extension. That's Jimmy Sexton doing his other work here. That's one other tactic of Jimmy's. You get these guys in demand, and then you demand more money from your school, and they do it, and you get some nice pay bump there. But it looks like Florida's in a different direction now. That's what I'm hearing, too. They've shifted their focus away from Lane. So it's LSU or nothing for Lane. I think it's going to be LSU. We'll probably hear it by tomorrow. But, again, we're talking about Kiffin. Who knows?
What do you think about these Kiffin sweepstakes? It is, and that they're not. He's not going to coach a team, and if they do hold on here in Starkville, the obvious one that comes to point was when Frieder took the job at Arizona State from Michigan, the whole thing. But I think Michigan was about a 5 or 6 seed, Bruce. Maybe in that tournament, so that was a surprise run. And Glenn Rice had one of the best tournaments in the history of the tournament. But that's this is, I don't know. Ole Miss would be have home game. They'd be probably in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. By the way, I'm still bitter about that Michigan Seton Hall. The wrong team won that year. You should never decide a national title on a dicey foul call. But anyway, that's 35 years ago.
It was a horrible call. Yes, I agree.
Call. But a couple things here about Lane with this, and just listen. LSU's job. This is a lot of big jobs. SC after John McKay, and then again after Carroll, and Texas after Darrell Royal, and Nebraska after Dr. Tom. And most schools change coaches a lot, but the track record at LSU, it takes a special guy to want to come in here. Let me just go down the list. Since Paul Dietzel, by the way, in my lifetime, a coach has left LSU to coach Army, although Army was a great job at that point in the early 60s, which Dietzel did. But even back to Charlie Mack, and if I'm not mistaken, he was sort of, not so gently, sort of forced out. They said, okay, we'll give you one more year. And then poor Bo Rain. Yeah, and then poor Bo Rain. But then after that, what we got in the last 45 years? Jerry Stovall, fired. Mike Archer, fired. Okay, let me jump back in there. Arnsparger was in there, too. Arnsparger and Saban are the only two who haven't been dismissed, but neither of those two left warm and fuzzy. Arnsparger was kind of upset, if I remember, and he took the Florida AD job. We know Saban took the Dolphins job. Lost that bowl game to Iowa in the interim. But anyway, back to that. Stovall, fired. Mike Archer, fired. Curly Hallman, fired. Jerry DiNardo, fired. Les Miles, fired. Ed Orgeron, fired. Brian Kelly, fired. Most of those guys, save Hallman, had some winning there. Some of them won national titles. The bottom line is you'd better, this is sort of, taking the LSU job is sort of like a guy marrying Zsa Zsa Gabor. You better know what you're getting into here. And I know Lane must know that, but he is, he does view himself kind of above the rest of the crowd. One other thing about Ole Miss, what they might do. If you remember, Central Florida, when Scott Frost took the Nebraska job, allowed Frost to coach through the Sugar Bowl era, I believe it was, and Central Florida won. North Texas is letting Eric Morris coach as long as they're playing, and they might be in the playoff. He just took the Oklahoma State job. I don't think Ole Miss is going to let Lane do that. I don't think LSU, if this all happens the way we think, I don't think LSU would let him do it either. But there is a little precedent there with Frost and Morris for letting the coaches stick on. We'll see.
I was in Orlando for the LSU Bowl game when they were going head up. I think it was the Peach Bowl that Central Florida beat Auburn in that year.
You're right.
And so it was, they let him coach it. So, some are all leaves Tulane. Well, they're going to let him coach. I think it's just the only one that's not going to let their guy coach. Oklahoma State's going to let, if North Texas makes it, going to let their coach, right?
Eric Morris, yeah.
So, it's
these are teams in the same conference that have a lot of animosity toward each other over how this thing has gone.
Well, you can't blame them there.
No, absolutely not.
No. So, but the pressure cooker. Yes, there's more pressure. There's more expectations at LSU than there is in Oxford. There's no question about that, Bruce. But also, LSU was one of only 2 places where 3 straight coaches won a national championship. Now, it's different now, but no, he's given up some job security, and there's no question about that level of expectations.
We got to update that. You count Luke Fickell at Ohio State as being a permanent coach, because Tressel, Meyer, Day now all one.
I'm counting Fickell. He coached.
He was an interim coach for a year.
He coached.
Yeah. Fickell is very interim there. There is one other one, by the way. When Brian Kelly was at Cincinnati, remember, they were undefeated that year, and they darn near got in the national title game. And they were playing Florida then in the Sugar Bowl. He took the Notre Dame job before the Sugar Bowl. He left, and Rick Minner coached the Sugar Bowl, and they got destroyed by Florida. So there's, I think, the outliers are what Central Florida did with Frost and what North Texas is doing with Morris. Usually these guys, in the Frieder situation's another one. They once you say you're going, you're gone, and I think that's probably what's going to happen with the Lane.
All right, Charlie, what do you think about Summerall at Tulane? If they make it,
I think they'll let him coach.
I would let him coach too.
I think they'll let him coach.
Yes, indeed.
And when I say they let him coach, I think Tulane will let him coach, and his new employer will let him coach.
No, look. I'm the same guy that would let Kiffin, even with all the shenanigans, because I think he gives him the best chance to win the game.
And maybe I shouldn't say that about Summerall, because I don't know what job he's going to take. I really don't.
When it's finalized, you don't think Ole Miss will change their stance?
I don't know. It's a tough call. It's a tough call.
They could kind of use it as a one little lever. You really going to leave your team? You'll leave your team, and then they might say, I really believe if you left it to a team vote, I would think that coaches, I think they would want their coach to coach them in the playoffs.
I think he's gone. I
understand.
That's where I'm.
I understand.
That's where I'm going to. All
right, Bruce. Let's get to your picks. What 5-pack we looking at today?
Let's start in the Big Ten, and let's go. I'll go to tomorrow, and here's a couple. Wisconsin, Minnesota play for Paul Bunyan's Axe, but there was one other trophy that has been in this series in the past. It's a great story. Really quick, they used to call it the Slab of Bacon. Yes, they call it the Slab of Bacon. And
I'm intrigued.
Okay, here's the entry. It disappeared in 1971, and I think that's when the Paul Bunyan's Axe took over. What happened to the bacon? They don't know. 16 years later, they found it apparently in some warehouse. There it is, a slab of bacon. But, mysteriously, all of the scores between 71 and 87 were etched into it. How did that happen? I don't know. One of those great mysteries of college football. Anyway, no mystery what's going on lately at Wisconsin. They look like Wisconsin again. And this is one of those instances, boys, where a vote of confidence seemed to work. And that was Wisconsin saying, Luke Fickell, you're going to come back next year. And I sort of understandable. All the problems he had with his quarterbacks this year. He had, Edwards hardly played all year. The transfer from Maryland, he was hurt. O'Neal got hurt. They didn't have a quarterback. They look like Wisconsin again the last month. Listen, they played They didn't even look that bad against Ohio State. They didn't score. They weren't humiliated. They played Oregon pretty tough. They played Indiana pretty tough. They beat Washington. They beat Illinois pretty good last week. The freshman in there now is giving them a little bit at quarterback. They're running. They're playing defense. I think they'll beat Minnesota. I know Minnesota burned me last week. Drake Lindsay had the game of his life against Northwestern. They still lost. They're still not running the football. I will take the Badgers to bring the axe back to Madison tomorrow, Jimmy and Charlie.
All right, Wisconsin minus 1.5. Who's next, Bruce?
Penn State. Here's another one. Looking like Penn State again. And there is a little bit of an undercurrent up there. And this is, again, if the players had their way, they'd probably say they want Terry Smith as their coach. They have really responded to him. And this team, we know they shouldn't have been as bad as they were those weeks when they lost those games for Franklin and that thing unraveled in 3 weeks. But this guy's very genuine. The players are playing hard for him, and they look good again. I mean, that was a complete demolition of Nebraska last week. I whipped Michigan State the week before. Those running backs, Allen and Singleton, especially Allen, are running well. Grunkmeyer's not making as many mistakes at quarterback. Defense looks good. They have handled Rutgers every year. Rutgers has not come close, really, to Penn State since it moved into the pack in the Big Ten. Penn State will have some fans there. They get bowl eligible. There's momentum for Terry Smith. They win and cover. They'll handle this 2 touchdowns pretty easily tomorrow up at Piscataway against Rutgers.
All right, Penn State. Who's next?
Let's go in the SEC here and watch, actually, one of these ACC games. And this is Kentucky and Louisville. It's been sort of a visitor series in recent years, with the story here, Louisville falling apart late in the season. Now, Miller Moss was hurt. They had to go with the freshman last week at SMU. Disastrous. They got destroyed. I'm not sure what the situation is going to be tomorrow for Jeff Brom, who, by the way, his name is coming up for some of these jobs, but they better look quick, because Brom's teams have found ways to lose some big games the last couple of years, and they have been bad the last month. And by the way, Miller Moss was not playing well either. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago before the Clemson game. This is what happened to him last year at SC. He got benched late in the season by Lincoln Riley. He'd only thrown 2 TD passes his last 4 games. I think Louisville's a complete go-against right now. Kentucky, I know, they just, listen, I was wrong on that last week. Diego Pavia, that turned into a celebration for him and just a big party for Vanderbilt. But we know Vanderbilt's good. Kentucky had made some progress this year, and down the stretch they weren't playing bad. Kentucky's going to win this game. I'll take the Cats tomorrow.
Kentucky +3. Penn State, by the way, was 14. That's an early start tomorrow in Louisville. Louisville 3-point favorites at home against Kentucky. You're right. Jeff Brom has pulled off some big upsets of highly ranked teams, but he has lost some games as big favorites as well. That's been I've been with him at Louisville and also Purdue. Who's next, Bruce?
Okay, another one of these ACC-SEC games tomorrow in the Palmetto State showdown, and this is at Williams-Brice tomorrow. South Carolina, Clemson. Close spread here. So I'm going to take South Carolina here. I think finally, you talk about a team starting to look like itself. The last few efforts, last couple from South Carolina, maybe their best efforts of the year. I mean, they had Texas A&M down 27 at halftime. They managed to somehow blow that, and then completely took care of Coastal Carolina last week. Surprised me and some others. But all of a sudden, I mean, they're starting a little bit of confidence here, and I know they're not going to a bowl game. Shane Beamer apparently, that escape hatch to Virginia Tech is closed now, so I guess he's going to be here. But they have rallied some. You know, I've seen Clemson this year enough. Even that Louisville game, I mean, they could have easily lost that. They're just not as good as people thought. And I know I liked them a few times because the spots were right after that slow start. But Klubnik can only do so much. This team just is not that good, I don't think. And South Carolina's got the defense going again this week to keep Klubnik in check. I think Shane Beamer wins this last game and at least gets to 5-7. I'll take South Carolina at that short price tomorrow.
2 biggest rosters that returned the most in college football this year, probably Clemson and Penn State. We know how that's worked out this particular year. All right, Brucey, one more. Who we got?
One more. We rarely get an in-season rematch, like never, in college football, and a do-over for me from 4 weeks ago when I made a
Oregon
big
State,
case on
Washington
your show.
State.
Yes, I made a big case, and I got egg on my face. Well, since then, the season has completely unraveled for Oregon State. They rallied real quick for Rob Akey after they fired Trent Bray. By the way, they have just hired Jamarcus Shepard off of Kalen DeVore's staff to take over next year. So a state of flux for Oregon State. But, I mean, since that Washington State game, it's been bad. I mean, they lost at home to Sam Houston. Come on. They got whipped at Tulsa. This team is beat. Washington State, listen, they're going to get bowl eligible with a win. Good for them because they deserve it. Look at that schedule they put together this year. I mean, even the teams, I know we talk Ole Miss and Virginia. These are playoff-capable teams. I mean, how about North Texas? That might be a playoff team. They darn near beat them. No, they didn't almost beat them. It was James Madison they almost beat last week. Now, they played North Texas and got whipped early in the year, but that schedule they've played has really been tough. And I give Jimmy Rogers a lot of credit. They're fighting hard, and I watched that La Tech game 2 weeks ago. No contest. I think this one looks like the La Tech game. And Washington State gets bowl eligible, and Oregon State's players are all looking at the portal. The ones who have eligibility left. Washington State, I lay the points in a revenge match tomorrow in Pullman.
In-season revenge game.
They lost this game by 3 points 3 weeks ago.
Fumbled inside the red zone at the end.
And they're almost a 2-touchdown favorite here 3 weeks later. Talk about
well, they were favored on the road. So
yeah, and they lost 10-7, and you turned this around almost a 2-touchdown spread here.
What is it now?
13.5.
Oh,
I think so.
Yep. All right, Bruce. Hey, Bruce, what you Charlie and I were discussing Notre Dame's scheduling and their path. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, for tomorrow against Stanford?
No, we don't need you to break that down again. Notre Dame by 100. But, I mean, what's the advantage? Or I mean, for instance, do you agree with if the Miami and Notre Dame finished 10-2? Do you think that they had intention that this schedule would be tougher? Do you think maybe that it's convenient they latched on 6 conference games in the weakest Power 4? I mean, just, it's Notre Dame, and it just seems like they have a little bit more of an advantage so they could manipulate things way more than a lot of others.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up really quick. I mean, Pat Narduzzi said it as much a couple of weeks ago. The big games for Pitt were not Notre Dame. They were Georgia Tech and Miami coming up. It's an advantage for Notre Dame to keep playing these teams who are in conference. Now, a lot of them are against ACC, I know. But it's a non-conference game, and it throws everybody off track. As for Miami, glad you brought that up. I am steamed about that for the committee. I don't care about the gobbledygook, all those administrators and ADs. Do what the NFL does. If you've got 2 teams with the same record, you go to head-to-head first. Case closed. All right? Do it like the NFL. I don't want to hear, okay, this loss and that loss. Those weren't bad losses that Miami had. They had an overtime loss in there, 3 points to Louisville. No, they beat Notre Dame heads up. That's got to mean something. Notre Dame should probably be in the playoff. But if they're there, so should Miami. They should not be ahead of Miami. And they should not knock Miami out of the playoff. This is just do what the NFL does. And the college guys don't seem to think that way, and that's a mistake, I think.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Bruce. Great stuff as always. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you on next week. Thank you, buddy.
Go Stanford. Okay, thank you.
Chambliss just missed a wide-open guy.
He would have walked into the end zone, got a flag on a play anyway. Let's see what this is.
Yeah, Ole Miss had 192 yards in the first quarter. It's all of a sudden they can't get they're getting stops left and right. They only have 20 yards in this second quarter. But defensive holding against Ole Miss, I guess that slowed him down a little bit.
Against Mississippi State.
Against Mississippi State, I'm sorry. Defensive holding against Mississippi State. But Chambliss still had a shot to hit a 50-yard touchdown score.
A nice double move, and they grabbed him on the way through, and he was still several yards behind the defender.
All right, don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest air conditioner and heating companies, and now's the time. And I know you're not thinking about ACs right now, but if your unit was repaired this past summer, if it's over 10 years old, now's the time where you're going to get a much better deal, a great price on a replacement unit. We've got a lot of different lines that are available for you. So I mean, you get a great deal. You're just not thinking about it, but don't wait till it breaks down again this summer. Call our friends over at Total Maintenance right now, 480-1000, 480-1000. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, and get half off of diagnostics, including after hours, holidays, and weekends. We're here for you. Total Maintenance, 480-1000.
Ball on the ground, big scramble for it. We got flags, we got fights. I don't know if this is going to be a fumble or a forward pass. Melee over in Starkville right now. Oh, this is getting ugly. It's getting ugly. We got multiple flags coming off the benches. Benches haven't quite cleared, but they got a lot of people out there. This was a pass that was Trinidad Chambliss. It came out of his hands. He was hit by the defender, and the ball probably went forward a good 10, 12 yards, and Mississippi State appeared to have recovered it, and then the fight broke out. Multiple flags, and I don't know if this is a pass or a fumble. So we got a lot to sort out. We'll do that during the break.
The only one not involved is Kiffin.
Some poetic justice there, don't you think? Lock of the week Friday.
Sweden.
Switzerland.
One of those.
Presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Charles Hannegriff's 5-pack of picks. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Make sure you use Louisiana rice, grown by Louisiana farmers since 1936. Available at most local grocery stores. Supreme Rice.
All right, let's see if we can sort this out before we get to my picks. Okay, first of all, it was a forward pass and not a fumble, so no turnover. We got multiple personal fouls, but did anybody get ejected, Max?
It looks like he was about to have another ref read out some numbers, which is normally what they do when they're ejecting a few players, but we'll see. We'll see. We don't have audio here.
Multiple personal fouls.
Incomplete. A personal foul on both teams, 3rd and 8.
They didn't throw anybody out. Okay. Then we may move on with our last.
It's egg ball. You can't throw anybody out the egg ball.
14-7 Ole Miss.
Oh, look at Ole Miss fans made the trip.
Only if they urinate in the end zone. 14-7 Ole Miss. With, what did you say, 3:28 to go in the first.
To the fire hydrant.
Yes, yeah. Don't do that. That will earn you a flag. All right, going to start off. Let's see if we can get to the finish line here with some wins. It's been a rough year. Just kind of hovering around 500, and now a few games below 500 for the year. So let's see if we can finish the regular season on a winning note as the pass goes incomplete. Going to take A&M minus the 3 points against Texas. The Aggies are just better. They're better on offense. They're better on defense. And this is the game, don't you think, Jimmy? This is the game they've been waiting their whole life for at A&M. I mean, I don't know, not the players, but this fan base. You finally got the better team with something really significant on the line.
I don't anticipate a lack of emotion based on they've got a game to play with.
No,
I do not.
Not at all.
And they are better.
I think they're better everywhere on this field.
I would take probably Manning in year 2 versus Marcel Reed in year 1, but it's the opposite. And I think that A&M has an advantage at quarterback. Nothing about the Manning coverage of the Mannings is ordinary, but he's been very ordinary this year. He's improved with time, but it's modest. He plays better against the weaker defenses. He struggles against the stronger ones, and he's a first-year starter. He's just more ordinary than special.
Who's got a better offense, A&M or Arkansas?
Better offense?
Better offense.
I think A&M.
Okay. Arkansas put up 500 yards against them last week. So I feel like the edge goes to the Aggies here. Speaking of Arkansas, going to take Arkansas plus the 3 against Missouri. I'm going to try this one more time. 6 losses by 1 score, 500 yards in Austin last week, and they still lost. Missouri looks a little bit like they're limping to the finish line here. I know I'm going against a couple of our guys here, and we'll see. Bo Prabula looked anything but healthy or sharp last week. I think the Hogs get Petrino 1 win at home before they move on to the Mad Russians. So give me the Hogs plus the 3. I'm going to take Wisconsin minus 1.5 at Minnesota. They've beaten ranked teams 2 of the last 3 weeks, Washington and Illinois. They even managed to hang around with Indiana for about a half. The Gophers have lost 3 out of 4. 3 of their 4 Big Ten wins have been by 1 score. I like the Badgers here playing a lot better in the last few weeks. Going to take Tennessee minus 3 against Vanderbilt. If you think a win gets Vandy in the playoff, and I do, this is the biggest game in school history. This is the most significant thing that Vanderbilt has ever had a chance to do, to make a playoff. Problem is that this is a matchup problem for them. Commodores are the 2nd worst pass defense in the SEC, and Tennessee leads the league in passing as we got a long run from Mississippi State.
Yeah, about a 20-yard pass and then about a 40-yard run has State now in territory with 2:33 to go in the half. Right about 25-30 in Ole Miss territory.
Maybe I shouldn't go against Diego Pavia because if he puts up another 500 yards like he did last week, he might turn some Heisman voters around. But I think Tennessee's pass offense against Vanderbilt's pass defense is the is the difference in this one. I'll take the home team minus the 3 points. And Florida State plus 1.5 at Florida. Jimmy, I'm going to take a chance here. Did you see the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks on the island with the volleyball?
No, he looked pretty rough. I saw a few clips of it.
There's a scene in that thing where he's on a raft, spoiler alert, and he's trying to, get rescued, and he's been floating aimlessly for days, and he just says, he doesn't say he's by himself. He takes the oars on the raft and he just throws them overboard like, I've given up. Like, this is it. That's how Florida feels.
I thought he gave it up. He just kind of looked unkept.
No,
like
he was on an island by himself for 4 years.
Didn't have the shaver.
He couldn't run down to the CVS and get a raisin. No. I think the game at Ole Miss was Florida's last stand. They barely showed up against Tennessee. They're not getting Lane Kiffin. Florida State can get bowl eligible here. Norvell is staying. They got a little bit of continuity there. They haven't been playing great either, but better than Florida. I'll take the Noles plus the 1.5. So A&M minus 3, Arkansas plus 3, Wisconsin minus 1.5, Tennessee minus 3, Florida State plus 1.5.
Yeah, Florida State, and that's in the swamp, right?
Yep.
Yep. So Florida banged up, man. So Vandy, if they win, they're in. Who are they going to jump?
Well, I said I think that they're in, but I can't guarantee you that. Who would they jump? Well, Utah is in. Utah's in a tussle today. They're behind them right now.
They would jump them. A win at Tennessee is going to jump a win at Kansas.
Would you jump Miami?
They're not in.
Wins?
No, they're in.
Miami's ahead of them in the rankings right now, but they're not in.
I mean, they're going to have to jump somebody.
They do.
Yeah, I mean.
Jump Notre Dame? Probably not happening. Yeah.
Good luck. They're going to put Vanderbilt in ahead of Notre Dame.
They shouldn't jump Alabama because Alabama beat them. If Alabama wins.
Turner Sports on 2.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, maybe you're right, Jimmy.
Vanderbilt would be in.
Huh?
BYU's not sticking around.
Well, BYU's 10-1. They'd have to lose.
Do they?
You think a 10-2?
No.
Would beat an 11-1?
BYU controls their own destiny.
That's
because if they win this week and win the Big 12 championship game, they control their own destiny.
Sure, but if they lose the Big 12 title
they're
game,
out.
I think they're out.
They have to win.
I think Vanderbilt would replace them.
They have to win out, but they control their own destiny. So Vanderbilt, but you're going to put out Texas. You going to put them ahead of Texas Tech, 11-2?
No.
No.
I would.
Well, how'd they go get in there, Charlie?
Well, BYU gets out.
BYU wins, but so they're in. They get a spot. They're 12-1, the Big 12 champs. Do you take a Vanderbilt ahead of an 11-2 Texas Tech?
No, but I'm saying if Texas Tech beats BYU, that's their path.
Well,
Vanderbilt.
Okay, all right, okay. But
no, somebody's got to lose, and I don't know who that is. Oregon, if they lose at Washington, they would be 10-2.
I'm just saying
that's a hell of a. I mean, they're both 10. I just went through the list of 10-2s, bro. It's a headache.
It is.
It's a headache.
BYU's not an at-large team, Jimmy.
No, they're not an at-large.
So that's who Vanderbilt will replace.
But they need Texas Tech to
win out. They need some
out.
help. They don't control their own destiny.
They need multiple outcomes.
Yeah.
And I think it's terrible because you want to talk about their losses at Alabama. It was not embarrassing by any stretch.
Late touchdown that they got
yeah,
tacked
I mean,
on.
they turned it over uncharacteristically in a red zone.
You really want to have a headache?
I mean, who's there?
Beat Ohio State tomorrow.
Texas was misleading. They got blown out in that game, but
they had their hands on the ball in one possession game with a minute to go.
A little misleading, if you ask me.
Don't you?
Those points didn't count.
Garbage time. I mean,
that's garbage time. Garbage time means you're out of the game. They were in the game.
It felt like they were out of it until the very
They had
end.
their hands on the ball.
Till the end. They did have it.
I mean, okay.
And look, if Michigan beats Ohio State tomorrow, they get to 10-2.
Oh, I know, and
another one.
that would be the best win. I mean, Alabama's hanging on by. Now, Alabama, it doesn't matter because you can't get caught up where they should be, where they shouldn't be, because they win, they're in. But damn it, right now you got Notre Dame ahead of them. That is a joke.
And
I mean, that is so dumb.
And haven't you been waiting for a month to bet against Alabama tomorrow?
I got them. Number one on my list.
Well, then there's one. You knocked them out. 9-3.
Ghost, baby. Little Nicky sees ghost.
Knock them down.
Boo, Todd. Boo.
Third down and 10.
We're going to get into Jordan Hare, baby.
Third down and 10.
Bring your pom-poms. Jared, we got something. Drops a little hitch pattern right at the sticks.
Yeah,
so they will attempt a field goal here from about 37, 38 yards. That's what I said, the more athletic quarterback, but he is not as
erratic.
accurate.
No.
Yes, he's inconsistent. He's not the consistent thrower that Chapin is. He's made some plays with his legs. But
got 85 yards on the ground.
But he's given up, some of the accuracy. So Ole Miss will have one more possession here before half because they got all 3 timeouts and a minute 50 to go. But this is from the left hash, left-footed kicker, so he's got to slice it in there, which I can't see. It is good. So 14-10, 1:45 to go in the lane train.
Mississippi State's actually outgained them by just an eyelash here. About 10 yards.
Chambliss missed a couple throws today.
Yeah.
He's missed a couple throws.
Deep throws down the field.
All right. Hey, you staying downtown visiting the relatives for the holiday weekend. Man, a great little place within walking distance, within a 5-minute walking distance of all of the major hotels is Town Square Pizza. Town Square Pizza, it's hot, it's fresh, it's generous portions. It's really, really good, and it's inexpensive as well. It's facing Town Square on North Boulevard, and they shape like the square. You can get the specialty pizzas. You can create your own. They pop it in that oven about 7-8 minutes, but bam, comes out fresh, hot. Really, really good stuff. Town Square Pizza. Where else? Downtown, facing Town Square.
Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris, Edward Jones Investments on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
By Supreme Rice. Make sure you use Louisiana rice, grown by Louisiana farmers since 1936. Available at most local grocery stores. Supreme Rice.
All right, let's get you caught up, Charlie. I don't know if the state had more yards at the start of this drive, but maybe Ole Miss has passed them up.
They have.
They have one more possession, and State could have got a double possession because they get the kickoff to start the second half, but they did not take enough time off the clock. They gave Ole Miss a minute 45 and 3 timeouts. Now Ole Miss is at the State 11 with 23 seconds and counting with 2 timeouts. A little curious why you didn't stop the clock right there. And now a running play. They'll be forced to call a timeout here with 17 seconds to go, and they'll have a 2nd and 9 at the State 10 with 17 seconds to go. So Chambliss slippery on a couple of scrambles.
Tough to get him out there. This is about right, though. They run a play here. With the timeout in their pocket, they can run the ball if they want to here.
Right, kind of an underrated rivalry up in the Pacific Northwest, Washington and Oregon. I think Oregon's got a real chance to come out of this thing, maybe with 10-2 as well. So I really like the young quarterback in his first year starting, and for Washington, and I think he's more settled at home. He is a true dual threat. He will have to try and improve his touch and the deep ball, and also with some of his accurate throws. But man, he makes some big time throws. I think he's got a big ceiling. We know he can fly, and he's got some shake as well. I think Washington's a real threat to win this game outright. All right, 2nd and 9 from the 10 here, and ready for action. Chambliss back to pass, quick throw to the left side. It is incomplete, but caught. Yep, inbounds. He got a foot down. Did he get? That was
called
close.
A touchdown.
Called a touchdown on the field. We'll see if he does get a foot down or not. But Ole Miss looks like just a quick throw to the left side, a little back shoulder throw from Chambliss to his left side. Let's see. Yes.
He got it down.
The right foot kind of came down. That's really good job to somehow get that foot down. In the process. So Washington plus 6.5 at home against Oregon. Taking another team, man. You watch these games, people look cold. Last night's game is going to be cold, and Pittsburgh as well. Miami, they're not used to that. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I really like the way Heinzel, the freshman quarterback for Pitt, responded to the worst performance of the season against Notre Dame. 2 first-quarter touchdowns got Pitt going in Atlanta last week on their way to building a 28-0 lead. Pitt plus 7 at home in the frigid conditions at the old ketchup bottle downtown Pittsburgh. Missouri and Arkansas. Well, it's I'm going to take the team that, let's see, 25-24 now. Drinkwitz. He beats the teams he's supposed to. He loses to the teams he's supposed to. Supposed to beat Arkansas. They're 0-7. In conference play. Bobby Petrino, karma, maybe, huh? How many close losses can you lose?
6.
Give me Missouri and Pribula in the team, and we go on the road against Arkansas. I don't expect to be an intimidating crowd at home for Arkansas there. Minnesota, Paul Bunyan's axe, huh? Well, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's won 2 of their last 3 against ranked teams. So Luke Fickell, the vote of confidence, but they were at home. Minnesota is back home in this one, catching points. It is a favorite that was turned into an overdog over the course of the season. And Minnesota at home this year is 6-0. They're back home. Wisconsin on the road. Give me Minnesota. I'm not buying into this improvement, this late surge by the Wisconsin Badgers. And then Auburn and Alabama. This one, Alabama, the first game of the year against Florida State, they were the most public team bet that week. 2 weeks ago against Oklahoma, they were the most public team bet. So, and over the course of the season, public as well. So the odds makers, when they're putting out, knowing that they're going to get Alabama action, what do you think they're doing? They're inflating these numbers. This line should be closer to a pick 'em. I'm getting 5.5 at home. Money line alert. I've seen way better Alabama teams go into this place and get all they can handle. Why not now? And then Auburn may have found a quarterback. First game sucked against Kentucky. Terrible. Next game at Missouri, a respected defense. He accounted for 450 yards. 350 through 360, 70 through the air, 80 more, 2 touchdowns with his legs and with his arm. Maybe, the NFL approach to loyalty to your draft pick or to your money and your contract has spilled over to the salary, for the pay-for-play era in college football. They stuck with Jackson Arnold way too long because of the money they paid him. This guy gives them a better option at quarterback. Auburn plus 5.5. Lock of the week against the Tide.
Speaking of loyalty, your money, do you think that Wisconsin wanted to keep Luke Fickell or had to keep Luke Fickell?
Had.
Money.
I mean, it was in their best interest. Yeah,
Florida State too, right?
We thought Brian Kelly was not going to be fired because of that contract.
Yep.
That's at LSU.
Yep.
So,
they keep
and if he did everything and his work ethic was fine and his conduct was, do you think they still fire him?
I don't know.
I think it accelerated a lot.
I agree. It accelerated. I don't know if he makes it to the end of the year, though. I don't know. They had gotten so crossways. I don't know. That's a tough question.
But he crossways because they
weren't getting the A game. Now, I think I agree with you on Fickell. I think they kept him because I think the same thing about Florida State.
Yes.
I think they kept Norvell because they can't afford to pay him out.
Florida State's just beating their chest because they just got an ops building.
Yeah. It's a $50+ million price tag. 58. I think it was 57. It was
and look, now dumb contract, right? Well, what about all the ones right now? Is Signetti's a dumb contract?
They're all the same contract.
Is Kiffin's a dumb contract?
Drinkwitz.
To kill Woody because he got stuck with the buyout, huh? Well, this is the same contract.
It's the same amount of money. It's just for less years. That's the only difference in it. We're brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Port Store. Black Friday deals right now. The gifts of the season. Tons of power tools, security, indoor and outdoor security cameras, security locks, all of them available on the website right now. Lots of outdoor heaters, multiple sizes. I think we had over 200 on the website. Your outdoor heaters, all of your outdoor cooking equipment. Jimmy's been telling you about that.
Yes.
All season long. You want to get the chef in your family something for Christmas. They got a lot of options there with your grills, your griddles, your big green egg cookers. Also, Cypress Furniture down at the Thibodeau Store. Some unique items there. You go online, thethibodeaustore.com, or you can head on over 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, the Pierre Port Store, Highway 70 in Pierre Port, and now in LaRose and Lockport, 2 new locations. But if you go to the website at thethibodeaustore.com, you get to all 4 of these locations. Delivery available on some of these items, and same-day pickup available on just about everything.
I got a Thibodeau Store item update.
What you got?
Yep, because what do you call it, the things you put your firewood on? Kind of
the firewood holders?
Yeah, something. I forget what it's called. But, yeah, it was delivered to my house.
Yeah.
Well, I got my firewood delivered today.
Okay.
And It's easy. They cut the 5-foot 2x4s.
EJ got your present, or you got to use for yourself?
Oh, come on, man. It's a one-man show, bro. No.
Get the yard work
No,
done.
no. Coach, you didn't know that Coach Crossing was a one-way street?
I didn't.
No, well, it's the sooner you identify with that, the better you're off. But yes, but I'm excited because I'm going to get a little fire going tonight, watching some of the games. So, triple header. Max's picks is up next. He's got picks in AA high school football. He's got Knox Kiffin's game. He's handicapped, and Kennesaw State. So he's got all the high-profile games that everybody's interested in.
And some highlight when we come back here. Live of the Week Friday. Tex Morris, Edward Jones Investments. From Rufino's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, Max, hit it.
All right, another bad week for me last week. It's been a rough sledding here in college. But I'm going to start off this week. Ohio State, minus 9.5 in Michigan. Look, they've lost the last 4 of these games here, but Ohio State's clearly the better team to me. Michigan's offense not trustworthy. I know Underwood's been a little better at home this year, but Ohio State, to me, is going to move up and down the field. If they have at least one of Jeremiah Smith or Carnell Tate in this game, which I expect at least one of them will play. Ohio State last year, they had a hurt quarterback, right? That's why they won the national championship, but Will Howard got hurt in that game, concussed, something like that, played through it, and shocked the world when Michigan won. But Ohio State wins this game, and they get to run up the score here as Michigan has a chance to make the playoff. But I think that increases the variance late. They go for some fourth downs. Ohio State wins by at least double digits. South Carolina minus 2.5 against Clemson. Clemson, not quite the same team we expected this year, no doubt about it. But their defense has been underwhelming. And the big deal here is South Carolina, they're not going to be bowl eligible. They're 4-7 right now, but their offense is a lot better since they fired Mike Shula. They put up a great first half against Texas A&M, last week against Coastal Carolina, which is not just a terrible group of 5 school. They moved the ball very well. So offense is a little bit better since they replaced Shula. I think that's enough for them to get over the hump here against Clemson, their rivals. Clemson's bowl eligible at this point, so very little to play for in this game for Clemson. Kennesaw State minus 1.5 at Liberty. This is one of your directional schools or low-level schools, Jimmy, you were talking about. CUSA right now.
They've been Division I
up
for
there.
about 3
Kennesaw State has
minutes.
a chance in this one. Kennesaw State playing for a title over in the Iron Bowl, over 46.5, and Missouri State, my lock of the week, minus 1.5 against La Tech.
Mizzou State and over in the Iron Bowl. Again, here at Rufino's, Black Friday gift card specials here all weekend long, and you can get it online as well, rufinosrestaurant.com.
Set up to get in and out quickly.
Yep, $100 will get you $50
Sunday,
extra.
Football Sunday, live from the Queen, 10 a.m. to noon with all of our prognosticators. Looking forward to it.
Enjoy your holiday weekend. It's been Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN.